Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whispers dark, low value mail, low value mail at 9 o'clock, where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Hot damn, everybody. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, January 27th, 2025, the year of our Lord. And which Lord is it? We don't know. I am alive. Welcome back, everybody. We got a banger of a show for episode 135 for you. Joining me in the second hour, we have the one and only Dyer from InfoWars. If you don't know who he is, you're fucking up. You're really messing up. But he's an author, he's a comedian, he's host of the Alex Jones Show, writer for Sam Hyde, a lot more. And he's going to be joining us in under 1 hour. I hope you're excited. Before we get started, we're going to get started very quickly indeed. I'm no longer sick, which is exciting. I still have a little something, though. It's that goddamn Hong Kong flu. I don't know if it is that. Maybe I got the bird flu. You guys know what the symptoms of the bird flu is? I think I might have it. By the way, shout out to everybody watching over on Rumble. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching everywhere on anything. But this is specifically a YouTube thing. So I threw up one of those Super Chat gold dealies. If we hit the goal, 20 Super Chats, we'll do an extra 30 minutes of open lines at the end of the show. I'll also read all your Super Chats. And also, one Super Chatter will win, and this is courtesy of Tony from the Patreon. You'll win a 1-year Patreon membership. Courtesy of Tony. He donated it to me to give away, so I'm going to be giving it away. If you win the Patreon membership, or if you are a Patreon member, or if you're thinking of becoming a Patreon member, once I hit 500 members, I'm going to give away one of you $500 cash. It's not going to be crypto. It's not going to be Jew Bear. I'll even give you some Jew Bear. It's basically worthless at this point, but consider signing up, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. We're about 190 away right now from me giving away. This is like win Ben Stein's money, but I'm somehow Jewier than Ben Stein. How the hell did that happen? I don't know. But anyway, sign up, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. Let's get to it. Enough dicking around. A lot of people were complaining if the audio was too low on previous episodes. It's so weird. There's always 3 people who are like, it's so low. So I cranked it up. So I hope you like it. I really hope you like it. Because it's loud. I hope it's loud as shit now. And now you're like, this is too loud. That's what I'm going for, is too fucking loud. Everybody said not loud enough, too loud. Everybody, welcome to Deportation Nation. We're all living in it right now. Some of you are excited. I'm sure some of you are quite excited about this. I have a lot of thoughts on the deportations. Guys, the phone lines are not open. People are calling right now. I'm going to open the phone lines in like half an hour. Re-fucking-lax. Shout out Dylan Farnham. I was told by reliable sources that you've been saying the N-word. I mean, I've said it before. It's not a word I particularly in the nomenclature. It's not a word I use. Really? I mean, I don't know whose joke it is. I think David Tell, but I mean, we've all been cut off in traffic. It's a joke. All right. The deportations have begun, everybody. And I hope whoever's in charge of this shit, I hope you're happy because you made Selena Gomez cry. I hope you're happy Drumpf. Selena Gomez was in tears today in an Instagram reel, which she then deleted because everybody's like, are you a fucking idiot? How stupid are you? Like, look, we're not crying yet. Save the tears. We're not crying yet, okay? We're not doing the crying yet. Literally, they're just deporting like murderers and rapists and shit. What are you crying about? We have zero, just wait till they start ripping kids out of schools. They're not doing that. They probably aren't going to do that. But at least wait for that before you're fucking crying. Hollywood types, they just can't help themselves. They just, in their mind, they go, shit, I could just post a video, especially women. They go, I could just post a video of me crying and this will get so many views. Oh my God, think of the clicks. Idiotic. The best version of this timeline, though, I wouldn't say I was giddy. I was as close to giddy as I get about anything. Watching Dr. Phil going out with border czar Tom Homan to literally catch illegals and deport them. It's incredible. If you haven't seen the video, go online. He actually live streamed it. He has some new website. It's called Merit TV. I guess it's like whatever. That's the opposite of DEI TV, I guess. It's Merit TV. And he has this channel, this website or whatever, streaming platform. And he was doing live raids with Tom Homan, which is, dude, imagine you're fucking just kind of, obviously you're a criminal. You're legally in the country, just minding your business. And Dr. Phil rolls up on you. And not just Dr. Phil, with Tom Homan. Man, imagine, I wish that I loved anything, any sort of activity, any sort of pastime as much as Tom Homan just loves deporting people. They say that saying where, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Tom Homan, he would do this shit for free. He just loves it. He just rounds up the boys, gets Dr. Phil, goes and just catches people and just deport their ass. Getting deported by Dr. Phil. Kind of reminds me of Steven Seagal Lawman. Remember Steven Seagal Lawman? Where he was pretending like he was this police officer. He was like a sheriff's deputy. Maybe he was deputized. I don't know. It was one of the stupidest, worst shows ever. Such American fashion, by the way. This is why America is the greatest nation in the world. When you get deported in Canada, Wayne Gretzky doesn't show up. You don't get Wayne Gretzky. When you get deported from Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't do it. But in America, you get big time celebrities coming just deporting your ass. Steven Seagal probably, by the way, not happy. He was probably watching this over from Russia, so bummed that he lives in Russia right now and that he just turned his back on America. Or maybe in his opinion, America turned their backs on him because he no longer gets those juicy roles in the shittiest movies you've ever seen. But had Steven Seagal still been in America, it would have been Tom Homan, Dr. Phil, Steven Seagal just deporting your ass. Good TV. Honestly, good TV. That should, I hope whoever owns the IP for Cops is just kind of spinning their wheels right now, being like, this should be a TV show. I mean, these people have no rights anyways. They're all, the crimes that they're accused of is insane. It is really like the guy that Dr. Phil nabbed, was convicted of raping a child. Which I'll say this, because this was in Chicago. I never, and I'm sure some of you are going to roll your eyes right now, I never actually understood the whole sanctuary city thing and how stupid it is until now. I didn't quite, I thought it was like, hey, sneak over the border, kind of like minding your business, not committing crimes. We won't hassle you. That's what I thought it was, right? Because I'm a stupid Canadian, right? That's what I thought it was. I didn't realize there was one dude, this Dominican dude. He murdered his wife, who was pregnant. She was like a month pregnant. He beat her so badly that she died. He gets 17 years in American prison, paid for by you, the taxpayer. Me, the taxpayer. I pay taxes in this country. Not for long, maybe, the way Trump's going. But they let him out. They let him out back into the city that he lives in because he lives in a sanctuary city. And then ICE is like, we'd like to deport this guy because he's not here legally. Obviously, murdering someone as a guest in this country, deportable offense. And then the sanctuary cities are just like, no, we're not helping you. We're not going to help you find this person. We're not going to share information with you. Nothing. This guy in Chicago literally fucking diddled a kid. Probably worse than diddled a kid. Convicted. And they're like, the city's like, yeah, we don't want to, we did our part, but God forbid they deport this guy. God forbid they deport this guy. And that's what they do. They just literally, these people commit these crazy crimes. Like, I always thought, regardless of what city you live in, surely if you get arrested for a murder and convicted of a murder, the day your sentence ends, they're sending you back. No. It's crazy. I couldn't believe it. We also had the shortest trade war in the history of the world yesterday. Colombia beat the fuck down, weren't they? How you like that, Colombia? Not the college, the country. If you guys, this whole timeline of this entire thing lasted, it was like 2 hours. It's so funny watching like traditional media trying to cover this shit when I'm on, Twitter, X all the time, because X, it's happening in real time. You don't really need someone to just write an article. You're like, I'm seeing everything that's happening in real time. But the media, like at first, Trump, they sent back a plane of Colombian criminals who were in the country illegally. They sent them back to Colombia. The socialist president of Colombia says, we're not taking them. Didn't know that was an option. I didn't know that was an option. He just goes, we're not taking them. No, thank you. So then Trump literally on the golf course, with his high club head speed, no low club head speed people allowed on this podcast, by the way. You got to have high club head speed. Got to hit bombs, right? So he just goes, all right, we're putting a 25% tariff on you and then a 50% tariff on you next week. How does that sound? And then the president of Colombia is like, whoa, calm down, Senor Trumpo. Calm down, senor. I will send my presidential plane to pick them up. We want them to have some dignity, all these murderers and rapists. Right? And then basically, and the articles are starting to come out being like, oh, there's a trade war starting and he's not accepting a thing. It was over. By the time the articles came out, the whole thing was over. The president of Colombia acquiesced and just goes, okay, yo, chill, man. I thought I was dealing with fucking Joe Biden. I thought I'd have a few months to navigate this. What? Jeez, this guy's playing hardball. Hardball. Ana Navarro of The View wanted to put things in perspective of what a trade war with Colombia might mean. Because I'm sure, we all, drink coffee. Do I drink coffee from Colombia? I don't know. I drink coffee. Might be from Colombia. I don't care that it's from Colombia. I'm sure I know they have good coffee. I know they do. But she tried to show the downside of mass deportation by noting that most of the flowers imported into the U.S. come from Colombia. Oh, boo fucking who. That's girl stuff. Nobody cares. Let me tell you what. I would be quite happy if on Valentine's Day this year, my wife goes, where's the flowers? I go, sorry. The president of Colombia wouldn't take Colombian criminals back, so I can't buy you flowers. Tough break for me, huh? What a chick framing of things, huh? That's how you know what they really care about. These women care about their flowers. We only buy you flowers because you don't accept cash. Every guy knows that. They go, look, if I could just give you cash and cut out the middleman, that would be preferable. I would prefer to just give you $25 cash. But women don't like cash. I mean, women do like cash. Women love cash. But for whatever reason, on Valentine's Day, you can't just be like, here's $25 cash. Don't spend it all at once. No, they want these flowers that die in 4 days. Right? And they're putting up numbers right now. Not the numbers anybody thought or wanted, but they're doing okay. They just hit 1,000 deportations yesterday. Trump's kind of not happy about that. They're putting up triple digits for the first. It's crazy. We're only a week into this thing. Feels like a lot longer than a week, huh? I mean, that was Big J Okerson said it, and it really was true. When Trump wasn't president, I mean, he's doing a lot of good stuff, but man, you didn't really think about the president that much. You just was like, Biden's in office. He doesn't know where he is. You don't hear about it every fucking 2 seconds. But now it's just back. It requires all our bandwidth to process everything that's going on. But that's like with the whole thing where everybody's so worried about, they're like, oh, they're going to be busting into schools and everything. They're going to maybe, if they're lucky, deport 500,000 people this year. Okay? If they're completely, like if they're fucking killing it by the end of Trump's whole term, 4 years, they'll get all the people who have criminal removal proceedings. That's like, I don't know. It's a little under 2 million or something, 1.5 million or something. If they got all of them, that'll be a success. People thinking like, oh, they're going to get my gardener. Like, unless your gardener is wanted for murder, I don't think so. I think your gardener is pretty safe. I will say this though, because again, I said last week, I go, it's so crazy that the president just said he was going to do things and can do stuff. And he's already like, he's campaigning so much still. Like he's still doing rallies and all the shit. I guess in this country you have to, because with the midterms or whatever, everything, but he really needs to, I don't know how he can control the optics, but every left-wing news source, the CNNs, the MSNBCs of this world, they are looking for any opportunity to frame these deportations as just regular people getting deported, breaking up families, all that stuff, right? That's what they want. They don't even, like, again, Selena Gomez, she's crying. You're like, these are murderers. You're crying for murders. But Trump somehow needs to, I don't know how he can do it, because a lot of this not his control, but he does need to control the optics of this stuff, because this could get away from him. And here's the thing, because, you know, they find some guy, as far as my understanding works, they find some guy with a deportation order who was like a murderer, and they go, that guy's working at this place in the Bronx, right? And then they go to this place, this business, and then there's like 5 other people who are illegals there also. And they go, let's see your shit. They don't have them. They go, okay, well, we're going to get you 2. We're going to send you back 2. And, you know, then you're going to see the interviews with the families and the kids crying, and a lot of Americans. And here's the thing, you know, chicks obviously vote. Chicks are pretty liberal. They vote. They're not going to have an appetite for this. People are fine with the murderers and stuff, but he has to really thread this needle, because, like, you know, again, in 2 years, he could lose a lot of power in the midterm elections. And they're like, you know, every one of these mainstream media outlets, they're on their literal last gasps right now. And let me tell you, crying immigrant babies, crying illegal babies, that shit does numbers on the internet, right? And it'll be easy to sway people to be like, you know what? I know I voted for this, but especially the women. Dudes, they can handle this stuff. Dudes go, you know what? You want to make an omelet? You got to crack a couple eggs. That's just how that goes. But you lose the women with the crying kids. You might be in a little bit of a problem there. So, good luck. Good luck with that. Tariffs are coming. I was actually just reading. I don't know if this will be interesting to other people, but this was very fascinating to me. I was just reading all about the tariffs. But there's going to be a lot of tariffs coming. I think Trump just announced maybe in the last hour that there's going to be all these tariffs on all sorts of metals like steel and all this shit coming in. And I was reading this paper. I know this is what I do in my free time. I actually read these stupid papers and shit, but not all the time. But there's this guy, his name's Stephen Mirren. He's currently Trump's top economic advisor. And last year, he worked for this place called Hudson Bay Capital, and he wrote this paper. You can go look it up. It's 41 pages. It's not a light read. I didn't read the whole thing. I read like the first 30 pages. I ran out of time. But it's called A User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System. And I'm sorry if you're not interested in any of this, but it is interesting to me. It literally outlines exactly what's coming, like to a T. This is the game plan, which is crazy because it's just on the internet. Everybody, myself included, was like, man, Trump's such a wild card with all this stuff. He's just fucking shooting from the hip, tariffs this, tariffs that. You don't know what's going on. No, he's just running this game plan. And you can read the entire fucking thing. It's exactly what's coming. It's pretty heavy on like the economic stuff. But if you're into that kind of thing, it tells you exactly what's going to happen. And he's going to tariff every fucking country on earth. It is going to be, he's literally trying to redo the entire global financial system in America's benefit. And it has, the current framework. And again, from what I understand, I'm no economist. I do have a degree in economics, but he is trying to just totally redo the entire global financial system to benefit America, because the way that it's currently designed was to not benefit America. And America set it up specifically in that way, following like World War II and wanting to help all these countries like rebuild, especially after like the Cold War and whatnot. They did all the stuff that was not in the benefit of America. But at the time, America had something like 40+% of the world's GDP. So it made a little more sense to do. Now it's like in the 20s. I believe it's 26%. But remember this term, because you're going to be hearing this. This is a prediction. This is a prediction from the paper. But you're going to be hearing this term, the Mar-a-Lago Accord. You're going to be hearing this because this is going to be, he's going to get every sniveling, groveling world leader to show up to Mar-a-Lago, and he is going to literally rewrite the entire global financial system to benefit America and call it the Mar-a-Lago Accord. Now, if it works, and there's no guarantee of this, a lot of this is theoretical, man, holy shit, America is going to be winning. America is going to be winning in a way that they never won. I'm going to channel my inner Trump here. There'll never have been such winning. Nobody's ever seen such winning. The winning will be exponential. And the way they frame it too is that if the tariffs work, if you tariff all these other countries, and the reason why they want to tariff all these other countries is they want to devalue the US dollar, because the US dollar being so strong and being a reserve currency actually hurts America a lot in terms of trade and being the reserve currency. And there's not a lot they can do about it except tariffing every fucking country on earth. And if this works, this only applies to the Americans. If you live anywhere but America, it is going to suck for you. But if you live in America, taxes are going way lower. I mean, Trump has been talking about removing income tax entirely. He's legitimately been like, we're getting rid of income tax. And we hear that and we go, that's just one of these crazy things that he's just like, he doesn't mean that. But then you go read this paper and you're like, oh, if this actually works out, maybe. I mean, just knock off. I mean, we'll take 50% off. Happily. I don't care. I live here now. Fuck Canada. No, I love Canada, but they're going to have to play ball. Because the way it works is because you watch every person on like all these news networks who's just like a journalist, doesn't know anything about tariffs, and they just all say the same thing. Tariffs hurt the country that implements them. You go, no, it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but not when you're America. If Canada wants to slap tariffs on America, yeah, that's going to hurt Canada. If they just decide one day, they go, yo, we're just slapping all these tariffs on you. But it doesn't work the other way around. Not when you're the reserve currency of the world. And part of this article, because it didn't, everybody said there was, the China tariffs. Trump just slapped tariffs on China 2018, 2019. And it definitely benefited America more than it hurt them. It really hurt China. And I don't want to get my tinfoil hat on here too much, even though I do. Fuck, do I care? Yes, I do. But the tariff caused China's gross domestic product growth to slow to its lowest level in 30 years due to the tariffs put in by Trump in 2018, 2019. And they didn't like them. They really did not like them. Them specifically, the kind of shit that they do with manipulating their currency, all sorts of stuff, they really didn't like it. Right? And then Trump's just hammering them with these tariffs in 2019. And this was this GDP number was basically announced in October of 2019. And then in November of 2019, a novel coronavirus just accidentally kind of walked out of a lab in Wuhan. Whoops. I mean, if you really want to fight back and you go, well, we can't fight back economically, but what can we do? Oh, I know. Just unleash this virus on the world. Fuck them over. Get theirs back. And they did it. I don't know if they did it. This is a conspiracy theory. Do not nuke me, YouTube. I'm just spitballing here, YouTube. Also, and again, it would be a brilliant move on China's part if they go, you know what? We can't really just out-tariff them. We can't play them at their own game. But you know what game we can win at? Eating pangolins. Right? And China, by the way, why have they not been held accountable in any way for this? There's been no accountability. It is crazy to think we're 5 years removed from this now. And we kind of just let them be like, whoops, our bad. That's it? It's just our bad? Nothing? I actually was reading this was actually an element of the Heritage Foundation, which was behind Project 2025. Project 2025. Bum, bum, bum. But they actually want to hold China accountable for this. I mean, the CIA just came out and said that they have on low confidence that it came out of a lab. Yeah, no shit. I have it on high confidence. I have a fucking brain. Obviously, that's where it came from. Everybody knows that now. But for whatever reason, China's not being held accountable in any way. Is it plausible deniability? I don't know. I mean, they have plausible deniability. They could just be like, whoops. And maybe they're like, well, if you start looking too much into this, you might find some things about your own country you don't like so much, a.k.a. a certain Dr. Anthony Fauci. All right. Well, I had more stuff I wanted to talk about, but there's no time for it. The phone lines are open, everybody. I don't know if this is just an unhinged rant that I just did, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please, everybody, like and subscribe to the channel. If you were an audio listener, make sure to follow the podcast. Leave a review. If you're watching on my main comedy channel right now, I implore you. I only stream on there to just get more views, to filter you over to this channel. I've disabled the chat there. If you're watching on my main comedy YouTube channel, please come over to the Low Value Mail channel. Watch it here. The chat is lively. It's a fun time. Again, support the show. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. You get access to the Patreon bonus audio episodes. You get ad-free video and audio, which I mean, like, there's thousands of you who listen to this shit. You can't like that there's ads. I don't know how they get placed in there, and Spotify just puts them in there, but who wants to listen to ads? Just pay $5 a month. Also, one of you is going to win $500. Cash money. 500 bones. It's crazy. It's crazy that you could win $500 listening to a podcast. And then it'll be $750. And then I'm going to give away $1,000 when I hit 1,000 Patreon subscribers. By the way, last week's winner of a 6-month YouTube, a 6-month membership for the Patreon, for the top YouTube comment is Aquaham3564. He got the top comment. So DM me on Twitter, IG, wherever, and you will win a 6-month membership, and maybe you'll win $500. I don't know. And we got a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We're back. I'm not sick anymore. I'm not sick anymore. I'm delivered. All right, I think I'm having a mental breakdown. Let's take some calls here. Okay. One moment, please. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Slav. What's up, dog?
Hey, so I recently learned a little bit of recent Canadian history.
Okay.
Dude,
I don't even know that much Canadian history.
Hey, I'm not like the rest. I actually have an appreciation for the right kind of Canada.
Okay.
You know what I'm getting at.
I do.
Yeah.
You're not exactly subtle, nor have you ever been.
Well, no, the Canada that I grew up, reading in history books and, and growing up in America.
Did they teach you anything about Canada when you're in elementary school in this country?
Oh, yeah.
Shocking.
Dude, most of the history that I knew, I taught myself.
Oh, okay.
Like, dude, most of my peers in school, they were like, what, Nickelodeon and Disney Channel? Dude, I was all history.
You were just like Europa, the last battle.
All
right, quickly, Slav. Quickly, I got a bunch of other callers I got to get to.
Okay, so what is it? Are you familiar with Air India Flight 180?
Of course, it's the greatest terrorist like murder that's ever happened on Canadian soil, and I think maybe the biggest plane terrorism that's happened, like not counting 9/11. Yeah, including in America.
It is. It's funny because I first heard about it because of 9/11, and people were attacking Sikhs in New York City because turban heads. But but what's funny is some of the Sikhs that were attacked, they were attacked by people who were citing that because y'all's ragheads up there in Canada, they want to do Khalistan.
Khalistan, yeah. We had Daniel Boardman on, if you remember when we had Ryan Dawson on, and then he stepped in because Ryan Dawson showed up super late. But he's like an expert on this topic. He is like the foremost expert on this whole Khalistan separatist movement in Canada.
So basically, what I've gathered, and not even gathered, but I've seen through documentation and video and reading about
Canada's literally importing terrorists, like these crazy blood feuds.
And the guy literally stood, their main figurehead at that time literally stood behind a podium in Canada and said, "We will drop as many Air India flights out of the sky as we can."
Yeah, they're crazy.
India,
and we just let them in.
India, in the 80s and 90s, and I don't know, and we're talking about India, still a third world country, was demanding an extradition of this guy, and Canada was saying no. So they're harboring a fugitive, and the guy associated with him is one of the candidates.
Yeah.
So basically, Canada is the same as Iran.
I mean, dude, India murdered or assassinated, I believe, like a top Khalistani official on Canadian soil. I think it was this past summer. And it was a whole scandal because obviously you can't go into a sovereign nation and go kill people. But they were like, you guys are harboring terrorists.
What if Canada just didn't allow such people to exist on their soil?
Guy, I don't know if you know what Canada's like, but they're not doing that. The best they can do at this point is not let them in. I mean, we literally let in a guy who was a member of ISIS, who had a video of him torturing somebody. He was like a literal torturer for ISIS. Canada let him in, gave him citizenship last year, And then him and his son planned a terror attack in downtown Toronto, and thankfully were caught right before they were about to pull it off. But like Canada's fucking cooked.
I wonder if any what y'all call it, CSIS?
Yeah.
I wonder if CSIS might have helped them.
No,
It's
the problem with
same thing
CSIS
the
is
1993.
yeah, the problem with CSIS is they're all just concerned with fucking DEI and racial equity and all that shit and just everything. Dude, CSIS is more concerned with literally putting tampons in men's rooms than catching terrorists. Slav, I gotta let you go right now though, because I gotta get some more calls, but I'm sure I'll talk to you in the next segment. Slav, everybody. Let's take another caller here. We've got Santiago. Santiago, are you there?
Yo, Dean.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Hi. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of was calling because I don't know if you saw, but yesterday the whole Colombia thing, I'm like Hispanic, and dude, my family, like some of the people in my family are like going crazy over this, and me not being like really affected by it, you know?
Are members of your family, do you live in the United States?
We're permanent residents. We have nothing really.
Yeah, so you're not worried about any of this shit. You're all good.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it's also like, I don't know. Okay, my girl also kind of like, we broke up over politics. So it's just like a trend that I've been noticing that people like, girls at least around me are like, kind of caught in relationships just because of the politics. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, again, if you're like, hey, we should deport murderers, and then she's like, you know, going full, what's her face? What's that chick's name who I was talking about? Off the top, you know, I can't remember her name. Selena Gomez.
No, but like, yeah, it's kind of crazy because like.
So what was your family's main objection to what was going on with the whole Colombia situation? That they're just deporting them at all?
Yeah, that they're deporting them at all. They're just like not doing anything. I'm like, yeah, but like also the Americans can do whatever they want. Like,
yeah, they're a sovereign nation. I mean, I'm sure Colombia deports people from other like Central American, South American nations who are there illegally. I'm sure Colombia doesn't just let anybody come there and just live there and like access benefits.
Yeah. They put like buses so they can go from Venezuela to Ecuador directly, and they don't have to like stay in Colombia.
Yeah, exactly. So Colombia is doing something similar. Every country on earth does that. No country in the world lets you just show up and just live there. There's not a country in the world that allows that. But so does your family know that like the people who are being deported are like literal, like, you know, serious criminals? Like these aren't just like guys who just like work in a Home Depot parking lot. Like these are people who have like serious criminal convictions in America.
Oh, that's great to hear. Next time that appears, I'm definitely using that.
Yeah.
Ammunition.
Yeah. Like they're not, that's the thing. Everybody's the thing is the perception and reality oftentimes like, you know, becomes untangled or whatever, but you're like, they're not going after just regular like law abiding people. They're specifically just targeting criminal. Now that, again, like I said, you might go to someone's workplace and there might be some people who are actually not criminals there, but who are undocumented, who are kind of just getting caught in the net. But
yeah,
but they're not looking for them.
Yeah, I think so. Like the thing is, we know family, friends. Family isn't here illegally anymore. They kind of went back, but I also say like, also if you're that afraid of getting caught, you can just like go back. Like there is no like criminal. You don't face any punishment basically for just going back. No,
the only punishment you face is probably like you just can't come back to America for 5 or 10 years.
And if you become a kid, like, yeah, you even become citizen. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I know it's obviously very difficult to like become a citizen and all that stuff, but again, it's like they're not going after just regular illegals who are minding their business. Like they're specifically, I mean, the reason they can even find them is because they have deportation orders for committing these huge crimes. It's just the cities, these sanctuary cities are just not cooperating with ICE or whatever. So they just, before they couldn't find them, and now they've able to just circumvent that and they can just go track them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like because it's good to know like I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
But my family even knows like we kind of like were like in a position where we got like information there, and then we had stories from someone that worked in our country's national security back then, and it was crazy because like ISIS terrorists were like flying into our country just to like illegally enter America later on.
Yeah, of course. What country are you from? Colombia, or are you from somewhere else? Ecuador.
Like,
Ecuador. Yeah. Ecuador is like a big country. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of that shit going on. And again, it's you can't like. I mean, especially if you're not American, you're like you can't tell any country what to do with their fucking borders. Like nobody would ever tell China when they're deporting people like you shouldn't do that. China doesn't give a shit. Just America, everybody holds them at a higher standard for some reason. I don't know why. But they're just held at such a higher standard, and they're like, but really, they're not. Again, they're just getting rid of criminals. At least at this point, like maybe we can talk in 6 months, and you're like, okay, it's past that point. But as it stands, like the guy that Dr. Phil got, the guy literally was like, yeah, I like raped a child. Like you're like, yeah, get that fucking person out of here. Who's crying about that?
No, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, Santiago, I gotta let you go, man. Thank you for calling in, though. I appreciate it. Good talking to you.
But
Santiago, everybody. Let's take another call here. Take a bunch more. We got Jay Dyer coming up, top of the hour. Very exciting stuff. Frank, are you there, man?
You could just call me Mr. Committee of 300.
Mr. Committee of
up,
300. What's up, buddy?
I'm actually starting my my Rumble career. I'm going through a midlife crisis, and my channel is High T Central.
High T Central. Go check him out. We got 750 people watching live on Rumble right now. Go check him out.
Oh, nice. But I wanted to talk about. I mean, like everyone wants to talk about the immigration stuff, so I'll just throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah,
I love this. This is the best thing ever. I mean, every single day I'm so elated that all these fucking people are getting thrown out on their asses because they're all little lawyers who want to steal. And even there's a guy that has been here for like 30 years. He's a legal immigrant. Some guy was like a man on the street thing. They go up to him and they say, hey, what do you guys, your name is Juan. What do you think of all these people getting deported? Wondering if it's like a coin flip. Is he going to be for it? Is he going to be against it? The first thing that he says is that they need to all get out of here because they're just here to steal. And now the American people are now the American people are finally, they finally understand that all these grubby third world cave dwellers, they just want to come here, they want to make the American money, they want to send it back on a Western Union, and they want to literally go on every single welfare entitlement known to man. And
I mean,
the American,
I will say, if you are an illegal immigrant, though, you don't have, I don't think you can go on welfare. Here's the thing. I know this is maybe a little too left-leaning for some people. Most of them are fine. Obviously, they broke the law by coming here, but they're not making things worse for everybody. This is very much a situation where a bunch of bad apples ruined it for everybody else. Because obviously, had there not been this specific issue of in New York City of migrants robbing people and lighting people on fucking fire, it wouldn't have even come up really. But it did because you're okay, it sucks I'm sure some of you are very hardworking and have families and this does suck for you, but you're you kind of forced the country's hand and the country is a majority of people are behind it, at least for now. And they voted for it. So I do agree with that. But yeah, lots of people who came here legally are I went through an insane process. These people literally just tossed their passport in a ditch and walked over the border. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, and they threw their passport in the ditch. They might be criminals, they might be rapists, they might be murderers. And the thing is that they got $1,000 gift card. They get EBT. They get all these benefits. They get free healthcare. And even if they don't get free healthcare, they just walk. No,
they get free health. Oh, no. You get free healthcare because again, this is
you get free everything.
Biggest misconception is they don't turn you down here. So.
Yeah. So, but that's all I'm saying is that these guys they know exactly what they're doing, and if they come here and they're green, other illegal aliens will tell them, you could get free this, you could get free that, you get blah blah blah. There's people driving around, like, it's not just Mexicans too, like it's all of them. Like, the Indians are the biggest scammers. Most Indians drive around in Teslas, and Muslim guys drive around in Teslas.
I mean, that I can't, that I have not seen. I mean, there's tons of, there's tons of Russian scammers. Like, there's tons of that shit. Like, there's a lot. It's not just like specific groups. There obviously are probably groups that are more represented than others. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just saying that everyone's got their scams, and that's it. They marry their arranged wife in their temple or whatever. They never go to City Hall and get it certified. Then they go on. Then they tell the woman, says she's not working. She's got 3 kids from this guy. They live in the same house. She's getting all the benefits. If she's not married to him on the books and she's living in his house, they probably give the husband, who's not her husband on paper, Section 8 as well. And this guy's driving around in a Tesla SUV. On top of it, too, they go and get business loans. And they get like $100,000 business loans. They pay themselves $90,000. They run the business for 6 months, and they don't even have to pay the money back. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. But.
Yeah, and here's the thing: that was good. Like, what you're describing right now was going on forever. That has been going on for literally ever. People didn't even have that much issue with what you're specifically saying. Like, a majority of people were actually like not that angry about that. But like, the people they're deporting, they're not even like, when you say they're murderers coming over, they're not even murderers coming over. They're committing murders here. Like, that's the crazy part. Is like, you came here, like, you should be on your best behavior. Like, you would think if again, maybe they got so comfortable with Biden or whatever, like, where they just like don't care or whatever. But there's one thing to be like, yeah, I committed a crime in my previous country. You're like, you're coming here and like raping and murdering and like doing all these crimes, and then literally getting convicted, released, and then the city will not turn you over to ICE to get you deported. The city is literally like, yeah, you can stay here. We're going to mind our business.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up now, but yeah, that's the thing. Just everyone think about that. Everyone who's listening right now, think about how these politicians allowed these criminals to stay in their towns and didn't allow them to get deported, even though that they had murders, drunk driving, manslaughter cases, all this crazy stuff. They
Sex
allowed
offenses,
them to stay here.
They knew, it is crazy. Like, they knew all this stuff, and they were like, we just don't want to be complicit in them getting deported. And you're like, why? Why do you care about this?
Well,
what a crazy hill to die
they
on.
want the globalists want the disintegration of civil society, and they want to replace everyone with third world cave dwellers who don't even know how to spell the word freedom. Thank you. Have a good night.
Later. Frank, everybody. All right, we're going to take a couple more callers before the break. If I don't get to you, I apologize. We're not going to be able to get to everybody on this segment. We got Chad coming up. Is it the Chad? Chad, you there? Hopefully he mutes himself. Chad. No, he's not picking up. Oh, here we go. Chad, what's up, man?
What's going on, Danny? How you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I can't complain.
Excellent. That's a win. That's a win. What's up, Chad?
I wanted to come up here and talk about TikTok.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I just got on TikTok for like the first time, like, to promote my guitar stuff or whatever.
Sure.
But that is the most annoying app I've ever been on ever.
Why don't you like TikTok? Like, what are your specific gripes with it, other than they're collecting all your data? But every social media app's collecting all your shit.
That's true. I mean, I deleted all of my social media not maybe a few months ago, so I haven't been on it in a while. But TikTok is just like everything is like AI generated posts.
That's my bad. I'll take the blame for that one right there.
Nah, but yours at least yours are funny. Like, I'm talking about the ones that are made to like actually deceive you.
Yeah. Like, there's no comedy element. Like, you're just straight up, this is misinformation for the purpose of misinformation.
Right. And then, they say like the algorithm is better in China. Or like, have you heard that?
I mean,
But
it's
the algorithm
I mean, the
is
algorithm is what the value is. I mean, TikTok, Instagram kind of has it going on as well, but TikTok has like, I got my account nuked on TikTok like probably 2 months ago now. And then I made a new account and all my videos do exactly the same. I had like 40,000 followers on TikTok. They deleted my account and doesn't matter if you have one follower or 40,000. It's just like a video that bombs gets 200 views. Or it could get 1 million views. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could have one follower and you could have a good video and it just gets 1 million views, which is, I guess, I guess it's what it is. And then it also, I think it's the recommendation is really good at just like keeping you glued in the app by showing you shit you want to see. Whereas something like Instagram is, it's just like way more variable. So they haven't figured out how to just like the other ones haven't figured out how to glue you to the app like the way TikTok has. So in that regard, it's why it's so valuable. But have you had any luck on TikTok?
I had one video that did over 600 views.
That's pretty good.
For me, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, for me, because I'm it's crazy because I got this YouTube page now, and I got like I got a nice number of subscribers, I think. But like on Instagram, when I used to be on social media, I only used to have like 35 followers and stuff. So
yeah, and it used to be pre-TikTok. You had 35 followers. You're getting 2 views if you're fucking lucky.
Right.
Yeah, like that's how it was. There was no getting 1 million views with 35 followers. That didn't exist.
Right. Yeah, but the other thing I wanted to talk about, y'all were already talking about this guy and I have to say his name like this. It's Tom fucking Homan. This guy
you're a big Homan fan, a Homan stan.
Look, man, he's not playing around. I feel like Trump hired him just to be like, he's like, look, I need someone to go on TV to be my bulldog. Will you be that bulldog?
Hell, I mean, he's scaring the shit out of people. Like, I mean, speaking of TikTok, I've seen TikToks where people are literally like, it'll be like in the Bronx or something, and they're like, my area is just dead right now. And normally, like, the streets would be so busy and everybody's indoors because they're all worried about getting scooped up, which, you know what, in terms of a deterrent, like, you know, obviously as good as it is to snatch up illegals, like, I'm sure this was part of their strategy is just to make them scared. And then if they're scared to go to work, then at some point they're like, well, I can't even work. So then I probably just need to go home.
Right. Because you can't work. You know, ain't got
I mean, if you can't work, then you're not living in New York City and not working. Good luck.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe San Fran.
Yeah, maybe.
Not New York City.
Yeah, not New York City. So, I mean, just even that element of this is working. And I'm sure it was by design. So, yeah, I mean, dude, I was saying at the top of the show, the guy's literally going and apprehending people himself.
Yeah. And, you know, this would be my last point. But I just wanted, to me, I think the fact that Trump, did all of this, immigration stuff, first week, all these numbers that's coming out is crazy. It's crazy. I think that's going to be, one of the biggest indictments on Joe Biden's legacy for his president, just because it's like, how did you let 4 years go by and this man just came in a week?
He didn't do dick all for. I mean, not only did he do dick all for 4 years, he pardoned his whole family on the way out when he said he wouldn't. That guy, I mean, his legacy is he pardoned Hunter Biden. He doesn't give a shit, man. He's just
it's over.
He's just gonna go sit on the beach in Delaware and just fucking dick off until he dies. At this point,
do you think that he sabotaged? The Demo, I mean, effectively he did, but do you think it was his strategy to sabotage the Democratic Party in the election, just by not dropping out? So he could have dropped out way early.
I mean, I think in his mind, you're like, dude, when you're the president, who wants to be told you're the most powerful man in the world? Who wants to be told you're yo, you can't do this anymore? In his mind, he was probably like, well, if you're gonna have Kamala, he's like, I could do better than her. I mean, he wouldn't have done better than her, but again, it's like, you still have to convince him of that. And maybe in his mind, he's like, yeah, no, I really think I have a chance, especially against Trump. He's like, I beat Trump last time. He's like, I could beat him again. And they're just like, look, man, you're fucking cooked, dude. You're like, no chance this is going to happen, but you got to convince him. And I don't know if
I'm just wondering,
I mean, he sabotaged his reputation on the way out. I don't know how much he additionally sabotaged the country, more so than he did the previous 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like
Oh, go ahead. Last
Oh,
thought.
no, you good.
No, last thought.
Oh, yeah, last thought. I was just wondering, how many times you think Jill had to, like, snap him out of it, be like, no, you're not a senator anymore, Joe. You're the president.
Oh, a lot. Dude, she probably saw some dark moments where she was like, this guy should not be the president. But again, their whole business was influence peddling, so their whole business model relied on him still being the president. So there was just, you have to keep the charade going.
Successful.
Yeah. All right, Chad. Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. Peace, man.
Chad. Go follow Chad on his YouTube page. I believe it is Chad Plays Guitar. I apologize. We're not going to be able to get to any of the other callers right now. But hopefully, what are we at? Super Chats. We got 9 of them. So we'll probably get 20. We'll have an extra 11 more Super Chats. We'll have an extra 30 minutes of open lines at the end of the show where I can hear from all of you. We're going to go to break right now. Quick 5-minute break. And we will be back after that with Jay Dyer. Here's a little clip from an old episode of The Bathhouse. You can watch a brand new episode. It's the worst call-in show on the internet. But it's a fun time, and we laugh. Oh, boy, do we laugh. All right, see you guys in 5 or so minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Story of redemption and struggle, if you guys want to hear it.
Hit us.
Yes.
I mean, sure.
All right, so I went to prison when I was 17, and a guy at the same time went to prison, and we kind of went through all the phases together. We were in county together, we were in juvie together, we were in the pen together, and he got locked up for joyriding with his friends, and somebody died, just like shitty luck, and he was from he's like, like a lot of teenagers do it, and he just made the wrong move, so he got like 5 years for it. But he came from a family that was like completely just white trash. Like his dad was a child molester, his older brother was a child molester.
He came from a family of child molesters. I mean, honestly, that seems to check out.
Yeah, I get it.
Dude, tough break, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a shit life. He had a shit life.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So he gets pretty much the max. He gets pretty much the max because when he was out on bond, he broke into his high school and told the judge to go fuck himself. So
that'll do
they don't like when you do that.
This dude rules.
Yeah.
He sounds cool as fuck. Yeah.
So he's like 120 pounds, like 5'6", not a big guy, and he had a rough time in juvie.
Shaped like a child.
He was shaped like a potato.
I mean, that's tough to be that size, hanging around all those child molesters.
Real molestable.
Right.
You're just their type, all of them.
One of his first low points was somebody at the juvie pen. Somebody took dog shit and rubbed it in his face and then beat his ass. For no reason.
Why was there dog shit in a juvie?
Yeah, how'd they get dog shit?
It's like the drug, and it's just like sniffing. It's coke poop. It's really what it is.
They snuck it in their ass.
No, they have like a
hold on. They
have like
snuck
a
dog shit in their
rehabilitation
ass.
program.
Great.
What's that? Sorry.
They have like a rehabilitation thing where you like take care of dogs and then get them adopted out. So there was dogs in the jail. Damn. So like that was just one of his low points, one of many. We move on to the penitentiary. He's there. I'm there. It's a few years later. He kind of gets pulled into the wing of the Satrus. They're like white guys that want to reclaim their ethnic heritage by worshiping like Thor and Odin and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So he's kind of under their wing. He's not like he's not like a bitch fully to them, but they don't treat him well. But he just kind of hangs out with them, and you know how it is. He gets a cellmate who's an older guy, and this guy does tattoos. He's not a very good tattoo artist, but he does tattoos, and so they start trading tattoos. And he also he got a nickname of Butters because at one point they convinced him to
name for a tattoo.
get a No. The guy, he got the nickname Butters because they convinced him to have a mohawk, and he looked like Butters from South Park.
Yeah,
so
that's not good.
Everybody started calling him Butters. It was
That's not good.
So Butters got this cellmate, and he's getting tattoos, and he's having his mom send this guy in Canteen.
Oh gosh.
Eventually, this guy convinces Butters, hey, like you need to get your mom to like get on my phone list. So you can only have one number on an inmate's phone list. It's like his mom's number got off of Butters' phone list and onto this guy's phone list, and this guy starts sweet talking his mom, and then she starts sending him money and not Butters. She drops Butters and starts sending this guy money.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pretty painful,
Sounds like a real Cartman.
That's all you have?
All right, everybody. We are back. Thank you for waiting patiently. Joining me right now, Jay Dyer. What's up, man?
Hey, dude.
Very excited to have you on. You are, I was saying in the break, one of the most requested guests that the show has ever had. I've had many messages to have you on, so it's pretty exciting. You're an author, comedian, host of the Alex Jones Show, writer for Sam Hyde, Dog, a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah, man. It's been a crazy past few years. Things have kind of blown up and snowballed, and a lot of different things going on. Glad to be here with you. I was watching some of your stand-up. I was enjoying it.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was watching a lot of your live streams. Oh, actually, hold on. Your video jumped up here for some reason. Okay, cool. All right, so you cover a lot of stuff. I'm not well-versed enough. I know you do a lot of these streams with like all these religion debates. Not exactly my wheelhouse. But you're a big technology guy. It seems like you're big like crypto, stuff like that. So do you have any? Have you been following this DeepSeek thing, and how it relates to like the Stargate and all that stuff, like Project Stargate?
Yeah, I mean, I follow the Stargate stuff pretty heavily, and I just saw the Chinese stuff today. I don't know what all the plans are behind all that. But yeah, I'm pretty much just a Bitcoin dude, so I don't really get into even stocks very much. I mean, I bought some here and there, but I'm pretty much all in on Bitcoin. So, to me, it didn't really affect a whole lot today. I mean, the Bitcoin went down a few percent today, but
yeah, I didn't even mean in relation to specifically like stock prices or asset prices or anything like that. But so like the Project Stargate thing, essentially, they're putting together this giant like conglomerate. For like this giant AI thing. And then, yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I was going to say that I looked into some, last fourth hour of Alex, I covered that. I kind of think that it's just like a PR thing to try to get money and attention. It doesn't even really exist yet. Musk was criticizing it as something that doesn't even really have the funding. And so maybe Trump was trying to just kind of get some PR and get attention to, America's going to be the capital of crypto. America's going to be the, bot capital or whatever. So I didn't read too much into it, but I do think that if what Larry Ellison has planned is the plan, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, they're basically doing this Project Stargate thing, this like AI, like arms race essentially. Yeah. And Larry Ellison was talking about they're going to do all these like basically custom mRNA vaccines for people. Yeah. Essentially, like if you have cancer or stuff, they can essentially like. So, what do you think like the biggest? Because I actually saw that, and definitely some of it spooked me. Where I was like, some of this is crazy. But then there was a part of me where I'm like, if I'm dying of cancer, I'm like, sure, fire it up. Like. Who cares at that point? But what are your thoughts, like generally on that whole thing? Because it is really weird. And the weird thing with the weird thing with Larry Ellison is that he's fucking 80 years old, and he looks like he's 50.
Yeah,
like
you're right about the possibilities for a lot of that technology. I just wouldn't trust that dude to get up inside me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't want that dude in me. He can stay over there in his cocoon or whatever hyperbaric chamber or whatever he lives in, but I think the invasiveness of it is what's weird. And I have relatives who have like the chip to stop the tremors from Parkinson's. So
Okay.
there are legit applications for a lot of this stuff, brain chips even, and probably for mRNA, nanotech going in your body. I just wouldn't trust any of these dudes to do it.
Right. That's fair. Yeah, I'm pretty conflicted because there's like a lot of stuff where I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't want to be like the test case for any of this shit. That's for sure. But then I guess I'm like on my deathbed or whatever.
But if you're on your deathbed, you might as well go all.
I'm very much like I'll be a fucking guinea pig for anything if that's the case. I actually want to talk to you about. So you used to do the show Hollywood Decoded. You're really like it seems like that's like a main thing you were into. And the show covered like hidden meaning and symbolism in movies. So I'm wondering your take on this, just because I'm adjacent to that industry, and it seems like I'm not really like it seems like it barely even exists anymore for people like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was looking up the episodes, and it seems like movies don't really do that so much anymore, like the hidden symbolism. Like it seems like they have a message and then they just beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously some Christopher Nolan movies probably go against that, but for the most part, like the Amelia Perez movie, you don't know that. So it got nominated for 13 Oscars this year. Mm-hmm. It's a musical. It's a Mexican.
Oh, is that the TRANZ musical?
Yeah, it's like this trans musical thing where, and like the thing is it's supposed to take place in Mexico, and she's like a Mexican gangster, and it's supposed to, but apparently everybody in Mexico fucking hates the movie. Like it's not even like people in Mexico like it. They're like, you didn't even have any Mexicans in the movie. Selena Gomez is in it. They're like, her Spanish is so bad that they can't understand what she's saying. And like this one movie chain was like having to do like a PR crisis because so many people were asking for refunds for this movie. Like it's a disaster, but it seems like the kind of thing where this is kind of like, all the Kamala Harris voters, like last thing they can kind of do is they go, we're nominating this chick or dude for best actress. But I guess my question was like, are there any movies where there's still like bigger movies where they're still kind of doing that, or is that just like over?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it was a lot more prevalent in older films because, as you said, Hollywood was bigger. There were more auteur directors. That doesn't really exist anymore. The propaganda is so heavy and so thick that it's not really hidden symbolism anymore. It's just straight up like woke, So that's part of it for sure. I did think there was quite a bit going on in Dune. I did quite a bit of a breakdown of Dune. You mentioned Nolan. I'm writing the third Esoteric Hollywood book right now, and that one has a lot of analysis of Nolan films, and he relies on Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell and that kind of stuff. So yes, but definitely a lot less than there used to be. Trying to think of any other. Blink Twice. That was pretty Epstein-ish, but it was also woke.
Right. And do you have like any kind of theory as to why? Like, was it just kind of, the pendulum kind of, we're going to do this for a while, and now we're just going to just cram the shit down your throat?
Probably a mix of things, like not wanting to take any risks, so just relying heavily on reboots and sequels and prequels. It's probably just from a monetary perspective a lot less risky than allowing up and coming directors to bring new fresh creativity. I remember David Lynch saying something like, he was surprised season 3 of Twin Peaks got made because there will never be in the Hollywood system like the self-made sort of independent creative director getting final cut or whatever. So I think that's just gone. The studio system's kind of dying away. We've done a lot of interviews with our buddy Jamie Kennedy, the guy from Scream,
Malibu's Most Wanted, baby.
Yeah, baby. Be rad. And Jamie's pretty candid about it. He's like, Hollywood's dead, dude. Hollywood's dead, bro. And that's like half the podcast is Hollywood's dead. So I mean, hey, you're adjacent to it. You probably
it does feel like that. It really does feel. I mean, even Tarantino because they're asking him about his last movie, and he hasn't even put it into production or anything. And he's just like, Hollywood literally died in 2019. Like he's like, movies are dead, like completely. But it's like, it's so dark to even think that they're just like, whoa, we just fucking switched on TikTok and we just killed movies. Like that doesn't seem like a great trade-off.
That is apocalyptic, man. I mean, I miss a lot of what we had.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I'm a movie buff, but yeah.
Yeah, and there's like I don't know the amount of movies that come out that are even good anymore is just I don't know. Like I used to regularly go to theaters and see movies, and now I maybe once a year.
Yeah, my wife and I are like every few months we might find a movie that we want to see in the theater, but it's rare. I think the last movie we liked was Dune.
Yeah. Yeah, Dune 2. Yeah, Dune 2. You covered James Cameron, a few of his movies. Have you done Terminator at all?
Yes, we did Terminator. I remember putting quite a bit into that episode, and then in my book, I covered most of the Terminator series and kind of looked at it as kind of an outline of transhumanism. I read a history of DARPA by Annie Jacobson, and I remember in the last chapter she talks about Kathleen Kennedy and James Cameron and other people actually going to DARPA and consulting with the Pentagon and all these people on they're like, hey, James Cameron, what do you have as an idea for us? And then they're like telling James Cameron, and Kathleen Kennedy and these people, oh, here's our ideas for the future, transhumanist order or whatever. So there's actually a symbiotic relationship going on. And Terminator is actually a great example with Skynet and AI and all that.
Well, China literally, their main thing or whatever that they track people in is called Skynet. Like they actually called it Skynet in China.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like the Terminator, because I'm starting to actually get a little freaked out by the AI stuff, even though I make all these AI videos, like comedy videos and stuff, but not trying to be like a crazy doomer. But I am starting to the more AI stuff, I'm like, we're so fucked. And it seems like Terminator is almost a bit of like a manual.
Yes, actually, I remember reading that when they made the first one, Reagan was at Bohemian Grove, and they had a conversation about the creation of the Star Wars Defense Initiative, SDI, and Skynet was birthed out of, well, the fictional idea was birthed out of the SDI initiative, which was originally to create like a globally linked AI Skynet satellite situation. So what's in the movie is literally based on Bohemian Grove's discussion about SDI.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Was there any other stuff in the movie that was kind of taken from real life in that sense?
So I remember in Annie Jacobson's DARPA book, she says that when they were talking to the DARPA people, they were talking about, again, going back to that mRNA invasive technology stuff, like the possibility of not just implantable chips, but the next generation of that being nanotech and, nano blood, that kind of stuff. I think that's what they were talking about. And that was actually, believe it or not, that actually comes out of MK Ultra. So when MK Ultra went underground after they had the congressional investigations, they rebranded it as MK Search and MK Delta under biowarfare, and it became biometrics and genetic experimentation. So literally Skynet, transhumanism, Terminator, all of that, it comes out of the 50s CIA, MK Ultra stuff.
Do you think, because I can't remember what guest I was talking about this on, but we were talking about MK Ultra, and I was wondering what is the modern kind of is there a current version that they're doing? I feel like it would be through screens. It wouldn't be drugs. It would be through TikTok or something.
Yes.
Something like that. But do you have
it's just all the nanotech. It's all the super advanced tech. I don't know if AI probably connects to that, but yeah, you had a lot of these super math nerds, like John von Neumann and these different characters that were in what's called the Jason Society. That's pretty wild if you look that one up, because it's a bunch of super elite scientists and mathematicians that were working to create a lot of what we have now. And they were all kind of working with Rand Corporation, Pentagon. So, I mean, there is legit basis to be concerned about the technocratic stuff for sure.
Yeah. Is this something that you're specifically worried about? Because it seems like this thing where it's there's I don't know what you can do about it at this point. There's one thing if they're testing LSD on people and they can just stop doing that, but you're what are we even meant to do now?
I mean, I'm kind of a skeptic about some of the stuff, which sounds kind of weird because I'm always trying to read the books. One of the things we do on my channel is we do the writings of the elite, where we read through their books, and then I kind of lecture through those. So it doesn't come out as conspiracy theory. It's just me kind of lecturing from what they wrote. And they're pretty candid a lot of times about what they have planned. But when I see a lot of science stuff, a lot of claims of, like that other day they were talking about, oh, this quantum chip that Google has, it's pulling energy from the multiverse and other dimensions. To me, that's bullshit. I don't believe that there's other dimensions that a computer chip is pulling energy from.
Yeah, so that's nonsense.
So I treat a lot of those kinds of like super duper fear claims with a lot of skepticism. But I guess there's areas to be concerned, like if they were to have passed like the tracking and tracing stuff that they wanted during the coof of the last few years, I would have been pretty worried about that. That could have been a dangerous scenario. But it's a good sign that Trump banned CBDCs. Like that's one of the key things they wanted in that agenda. So no, I think there's actually a lot of things moving in the right direction rather than like a black pill direction.
Yeah, they must have been hating him at Davos. I saw his speech at Davos, and that seems to be one of their main things, is kind of getting the central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be able to fight them like the entire time? Like that he's in office? Because he seems like a lot of stuff that they want to push through that he's
It's a great question. I mean, like I saw him saying today that they were like, well, he was saying something like, you're only allowed to run twice. Can you run twice? I don't know. Probably you could only run twice. Maybe I'll go again. I don't know. So maybe he's going to run like FDR did, like 10 times in a row or however many times. I mean, maybe, which I guess that would be good. I mean, I have criticism of Trump, but I think overall there's things moving in a positive direction. So if we get rid of the income tax, we get rid of a lot of these weird, he moved out of the green agenda, which is a big part of the global elite stuff. Things are going in the right direction. So, but I mean, yeah, it's a good question. After 4 years, what happens? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that'll make people's fucking head spin if he somehow manages to get another term. I mean, it'll be obnoxious to hear all the people with the dictator stuff. They go, "Oh, that's just what dictators do."
Well, I mean, yeah, you could argue FDR was kind of a dictator. He ran multiple times.
I guess. What was his deal? It was just it was a wartime thing. That was his reasoning for it.
Well, that and like he was going to solve the depression, and I mean he was an outright like Fabian socialist, so he was pushing a lot of like hardcore socialist stuff.
What is the Fabian thing? I heard you talk about that. I'm not familiar with it.
This was a movement in the 1880s and 90s in England amongst some of the upper crust. And it wasn't just kind of weird, eccentric intellectuals. It was also some pretty powerful people in the circles of Royal Society and people like that, the Milner, Rothschild, Rhodes circles, particularly Lord Milner, who was convinced of this idea from people like John Ruskin that the British Empire could be revamped into a kind of a global socialist federation technocracy. Actually, I was reading right now, one of their dudes is Toynbee. And in this book, he's like, yeah, we got to take back America and turn it back. We got to turn it into some kind of socialist thing. And
they were saying this in the 1800s?
Yeah. Well, the Fabians begin like the 1880s, 90s as this philosophy that it's called Reformed Marxism, which is Marx's, like uprising proletariat thing didn't work. And they had the idea that instead of trying to get the workers who don't care about all this abstract Marxist nonsense and neologisms and, like high tier Bolshevik philosophy, they only care about the lunch break and getting a beer. Right. So the idea was instead of focusing on the proletariat rising up, let's join with big capital. And so they called it Reformed Marxism. And it later became Fabian because the idea was, from the name of the Roman general who believed in like slow approach to battle. Their idea was instead of like overnight Marxist revolution, it's unrealistic. We need like a slow, gradual move to bring in the strategy long term. And so it aligned very well a few decades later in the 1920s and 30s with technocracy. But yet it kind of originates out of London, and it's really just Reformed Marxism aligned with monopoly capital.
So it kind of sounds like a little bit like China.
Yeah, actually,
like
you could make analogies there because they're not necessarily against a market economy for sure. The Labor Party has for a long time been openly Fabian. They don't call themselves Fabian socialists; they call themselves Labor, but the Labor Party is started by a bunch of Fabian socialists. IMF, World Bank, Aspen Institute, Bank for National Settlements, all of these entities are actually like literally Fabian socialist economic entities. John Maynard Keynes was a famous Fabian socialist.
Interesting. Do you think any chance that Trump gets rid of the income tax?
Gets what?
Gets rid of the income tax?
Oh man, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you get on this? Because like the taxes are coming due. Can we go ahead and do this right now? Like, I got pretty hefty taxes, so please get on this.
Yeah, that'd be nice timing.
I mean, he just talked about it again today. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell how much with him right now is like just trying to muddy the waters a bit and just kind of send everybody on like a wild goose chase, being like, here's 50 fucking things I want to do, and then it's almost like a distraction trying to do something else. But I mean, a lot of people were saying that about all the tariff stuff, and then I was talking about at the top of the show, like I basically read a paper from his like chief economic advisor from literally last year about exactly what they plan on doing. Like it's like to a T, exactly all the tariff stuff. It's called I have the name of it here. It's I can't find it, but it's a user's guide to restructuring the global trading system by this guy Stefan Miran. Check it out. It's only like 40 pages, but it's literally, because everybody keeps thinking he's like really just firing from the hip, like he just says shit, and you're like, no, they're following this like really specific plan of tariffing like every nation on earth essentially to completely reorder the entire like global trading system.
I mean, that's how money was made prior to the Federal Reserve being set up. So yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's, instead of like taxing and destroying the working class within the country who, are paying all of this money to people who can actually just make money out of thin air. Why don't we try something different?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's been pretty pro. You're a big crypto guy. He's been like pretty pro. I'm sure you're pumped about that, how pro crypto he's been.
Yeah, I just wish that the executive order had been a little more specific about Bitcoin and not just quote crypto. I mean, it's still good news. It's still bullish. But, everybody's waiting on this strategic reserve, because if he does do that, if the Cynthia Loomis bill passes, that will literally, if, the plan is to buy 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years, that will literally take the price of Bitcoin to $1 million, basically.
Yeah. But wouldn't they be better off? I don't know how actually like how it would work, like but wouldn't they be better off not announcing it and buying the crypto, like the Bitcoin, and then announcing it versus, because won't everybody kind of like front run it and just like push the price up? I guess like to the United States government, like what's a couple more fucking $1 billion?
That's a good question. I think, we're in uncharted territory and nobody knows. That's why everybody's kind of debating and trying to figure out, like, will all the other countries then try to rush in? And the problem will then be a supply shock, which a lot of hardcore Bitcoiners have been predicting. The supply shock, which means the price will drop, will go, faster, higher, quicker.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's crazy. But I think if it does get pass, and I think the betting sites are thinking now 70% chance it'll pass, which is a pretty good indicator. I mean, and then have no tax on the crypto, then I'm good, dude.
Oh,
retire.
So you think he's gonna pardon Roger Ver?
I don't know. I mean, I think that one's a little different than the Ross Ulbricht case. I mean, I don't have any personal dislike for Roger Ver. I don't agree with the philosophy of Bitcoin Cash, but I don't know. That's a good question. I know there's a lot of people pushing for it, especially like in Alex's circles. Like, I think Tucker is pushing for it. Robert Barnes is pushing for it, but I don't know. It's a really good question.
Yeah. All right, everybody. The phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. If you have any questions for Jay, we got a caller right here. Let's get to them. One moment, please. We got Chris on the line. Chris, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Danny? Big fan. First of all, I have a question, or more of a thing to talk about. I've been meaning to call in for a few weeks now. There was this European guy that called or that was a guest on the show a few weeks ago, and he was like talking about like American politics and like the European mind's perspective on it.
Okay. He was a guest?
Yeah,
European guest?
Yeah, he was like a guest or Europe. He had like a funny accent, you know, and he was just talking shit about
Al
time.
Borealis.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Right.
And
also a big Bitcoin guy.
You know, like a lot of times, a lot of foreigners like to say, like, you know, pick on us and say we have this two-party system, you know, and this and that and yada yada. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. There's only some things are black and white, you know, and in America it's a yes or a no, and in Europe it's like a yes, no, maybe, what if, kind of, you know, why not, you know. So like but when it comes down to it, like we saw in Germany, or was it France, when Marie Le Pen was like the right wing party was pretty much on a trajectory to win, until all of these supposed parties kind of just came together to make a coalition to beat the, you know, so like
they can make tons of deals and stuff to like, that's very common in those systems, similar with Canada.
Yeah, and it's like you guys, like, you brag so much about having so many different parties and this and that, but when it comes down to it, like, you guys all believe the same thing, you know? So it's just different shades of Democrat, basically.
Kind of. I mean, nobody gives a shit about Europe.
Yeah, nobody does, but I just, you know, I take offense when I hear them talking, you know?
Yeah.
And another thing.
It disturbs your American sensibilities?
Yeah, it does. It does. I don't like it. And another thing, hey, I was looking back to old episodes of the Boys Cast, and you guys, that shit doesn't get old, man. I jumped into something from like 2 years ago, and you guys were like reminding me of things that I completely forgot about, and you guys are so fucking funny when you guys are talking about the star seeds.
Oh yeah.
The star seeds.
There's no shortage of mentally ill people on the internet.
Yeah, and how you guys were talking about, what is it? This guy who was like jacking off onto a fucking.
This is like the Chris Farley show from SNL. If you remember the Chris Farley show when he has the Beatles on, he goes, "You remember when you were in the Beatles?"
Yeah,
that was awesome. Do you have a question for the guest?
No, I'm not sure who the guest is. I was waiting online to get through that. I didn't really get to hear, but I wanted to interact with y'all.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you calling in.
I do have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
One question. Have you heard about the last goon, the goonicide? The dude
I have.
Who pulled up to
I
the
mean,
bikini?
That is such a stupid internet thing. You know what we're talking about, Jay?
Mm-mm.
You know the guy who like whipped his dick out at that like bikini coffee shop like 2 weeks ago, and then the chick like videotaped him and put it on TikTok, and it went super viral. It's like weird like bikini coffee shop where you like pull up, it's like drive through and the girls are in bikinis. And anyways, he had his dick out, and then he killed himself in a parking lot like 20 minutes later, and then he's become this like weird online like folk hero, I guess. I don't know.
Man, people can become heroes for the craziest things now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if George Floyd did it, you can do it for fucking whipping your dick out.
He's a martyr.
He's a martyr. All right, thanks, dude. All right, we can take another caller here. One moment, please. We got the conspiracy, and phone lines are open, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. Conspiracy extremist, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? How's it going, guys?
Very good. How are you?
So
good. So I did. So earlier I had a story for you, Danny, but I'm not going to waste that when I have VJ Dyer on to ask him a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is actually a question that I've been looked into briefly on my own, but I think he's a good person to answer this. Jay, so you're an Orthodox Christian, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you articulate to me, like, and I'm not Orthodox, I'm a Christian, I guess. as far as I see myself. But can you describe to me the difference between the way you see it between Catholicism and Orthodox Christianity? Like what the differences are, why you, I guess, I don't want to say identify, but why you believe Orthodox Christianity is the correct view opposed to Catholicism. I'm sure you've talked about this before. I haven't come upon it in the past.
Yeah, well, I've covered it on my channel quite a bit, so you can find a lot of podcasts covering that. But in brief, two main issues that are the big ones would be the Pope. We don't believe that the Pope has universal, infallible jurisdiction, that he can be an autocrat. That's not something that we believe. We believe all the bishops are equal, so it's a decentralized kind of church government. And then there's many other things, but the bigger ones would be stuff like purgatory. We don't believe in that, or what's called the filioque doctrine, which is a different thing. So there's a lot of other addendum things that go along with it, but those are the big ones that we don't agree. And we think that the first 1,000 years of Christianity before the split between East and West, that it's the Orthodox model and not the Roman Catholic sort of second millennium papal model.
Okay. Now, do you subscribe to like the Trinity being as like Jesus is God at the same time? Like,
well, he's the Son of God. So in the Trinity, there's the Father, there's the Son, there's the Holy Spirit, but they all have the same divine nature.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Cool. And then, so what brought you, I guess this isn't really on topic. You guys are talking about other shit, but Jay Dyer has a legacy. So what brought you to, and this will be my last question, what was like the biggest thing about Orthodox Christianity that brought you to that? Because I'm doing my own journey spiritually, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, I got a lot of podcasts on that if you want to go check out kind of the longer explanations, but just a lot of reading the Bible and church history and the church fathers eventually is kind of what landed me there.
All right, fair enough. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking my question.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.
All right, see you, Danny.
Yeah, I've been doing this joke actually about indulgences. I was reading some book, and then like the idea that you could just buy coupons for your sins, essentially, is what they were. And my joke is like, that seems like such a Jewish thing. Like, I can't believe the Jews didn't invent that.
It's funny because when we critique the Roman Catholics for that kind of stuff, we're like, oh, that's so Talmudic.
Yeah. Well, like, I think I tweeted that at one point. Like, I'm like, I can't believe Jews didn't invent indulgences. And then there was like 20 replies being like, they did actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the Roman Catholics are over there like, we need to do more of these Jew things.
Yeah, I know. Like, literally, they're like, I don't know. It seems like, yeah, a coupon for your sins, you say. All right, let's take another call here. We got Will has a question for Jay. Will, are you there, man?
Yes, hello. How's it going, Danny? How's it going, Jay? Nice to talk to you all. I was just curious to know if you think that any of these cult kind of goofy Hollywood stuff is going to come to light when all of the Epstein and Diddy tapes get released.
Yes. I've been covering that for a long time. I went pretty deep down in those rabbit holes. Whitney Webb's books are good, especially part 2 on Epstein's really good. So I would expect I think there's 2 different things going on. Like, I think Diddy was like a mini Epstein, more like a Blackstein, like a ghetto version of Epstein. But to be serious, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know that Diddy himself was involved in anything like occultic or Crowleyan. There was that weird statement though that Cat Williams made, and he's tended to be pretty correct on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty much nailed everything.
Yeah, but he said something. It's a ritual, Joe. It's a ritual, okay? They go up in your booty. That's a ritual. Now that's actually Crowleyan to do like the butt thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a Crowleyan influence on the Diddy stuff, but it will probably be like all the Epstein stuff. But I don't think there's anything occultic with Epstein that I'm aware of, but it doesn't have to be.
And are you saying that like Diddy, similar to Epstein, had like foreign government handlers? Or government handlers?
I think that's likely. I don't know about foreign, but some people theorize that when he got the FBI visit in like 2002 or 3, like he might have been used since then.
Like he just made a deal, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just been interesting.
I mean, it's all theory, but
yeah, of course.
Allegedly, to use Cat Williams' word.
Anything else there, caller?
No, thank you very much. You guys have a great night.
Appreciate it. Do you think, because obviously Trump last week or in the past week, it feels like it's been fucking months, but he obviously dropped like the JFK, RFK, MLK stuff. MLK was getting down to some fucking, he was a little ditty action himself. Did you read the MLK stuff?
I not yet, but I knew that a long time ago. I read a guy that was critiquing MLK a long time ago, and
he was into some freaky sex shit, man. They were like,
pretty wild dude.
Dude, they were like hiring prostitutes and making them do all this like butt sex and all this crazy stuff and like crazy rate, like multi-day like orgies and all this stuff. But do you think, I was just to bring my point back, obviously he didn't announce the Epstein thing. He said basically we're getting the JFK documents, RFK, MLK, nothing on Epstein. Do you think Trump like releases Epstein, or are there like way too many people in government who are like implicated in that where it just can't be done?
Dude, I don't know. He's kind of such a like shoots. I think he does shoot from the hip, and it's all kind of like why. I'm not saying there's no planning, but like it seems like a lot of things. Like he throws curveballs. I have no idea. If it doesn't happen, I won't be surprised. If it does, I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
I saw Alex was calling for it, like Trump needs to do this right now. Epstein right now.
Yeah. I mean, we had Nick, I don't know if do you know Nick Bryant? He was the guy who he released Epstein's like black book.
Oh, Nick Bryant, the author.
The author, yeah.
Yes. I know. I've been on his podcast.
Yeah.
He was the Franklin cover-up book.
The Franklin affair or whatever. But he was on the show and he was talking all about that and just the amount of people who would be implicated in it.
Oh, he was saying it probably won't.
Well, yeah, he's just like I mean, he's the main guy who wants it to come out, but I think he's very much just like it's one, like, you know, because JFK, maybe there's 2 people alive who are fucking 95 years old who are involved in that. Like, can't be that much more than that. Whereas Epstein, you're like, yeah, these are probably people in the highest reaches of governments all over the world.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. I think everybody would love that, but.
Right.
I think it'll be interesting if he releases all the shit and doesn't release that, and then it would almost be kind of
be weird. Yeah,
it would be telling in and of itself, where you're like, okay, well, so that's just the one thing you're not releasing that everybody wants.
Right.
All right, let's take another caller here. This is. Okay. This might be interesting. I make no vouchers for this caller, so, but producer Mark left a little interesting note on this caller, so. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, please. Hello?
Hi. This is Moishe Goyman.
Okay. Hey, Moshe.
I just... actually, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say, but I'll talk to you later, okay?
Literally had a note that said, he goes, weird impression, but then he says he knows David Lynch's son, which was what I was more interested about for the call. But generally, when people call in with an impression, they think they can do it for longer than they actually can. Like, they kind of think they can do a bit much longer than they have the ability to do that.
You know, it's funny. I've noticed that people who do impressions, and I try to do impressions.
Yeah, you do some pretty good ones.
I've noticed that you can't do it for like 30 minutes, but people think that they can, like, oh, if I just keep going, it's still funny. It's not funny after like 5 sentences.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have like 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing like a character bit and you like wrote a thing.
Exactly.
But just like off the top of your head, like you go, yeah, I don't know. Nobody wants to hear fucking Woody Allen for more than 60 seconds. You covered a lot of the David Lynch stuff actually recently that I thought was pretty interesting. I imagine you were pretty bummed about the fact that we're probably never getting anything like that ever again.
Thank you, by the way, for the comment there. Like my Cat Williams and my Jamie Kennedy.
Cat Williams on point, man.
Those are actually just 2 of them. I got like 30 more that I can do even better than them. But yeah, I was a huge David Lynch fan. I didn't like David Lynch in the 90s. I didn't really get it. And then as I read more, as I got older, I felt like and again, I understand his movies are like not always intended to be understood. It's a dream. It's Tibetan Buddhism. It's all this stuff. It's Hindu. I know. But I got more, I think, of a general sense of what he's after as I got older. So I went back and kind of redid all of his stuff maybe 10, 15 years ago pretty intensely. And then I wrote I don't know, maybe 2 chapters in the first or second book on David Lynch. So he became kind of a big part of the books. And then, yeah, I felt like I was kind of wedded to that, you know what I mean? In a weird way, just because I put the books out. And then we did an episode of the show on David Lynch. And I think what vindicated my take was when Mark Frost, the co-writer of all the Twin Peaks stuff, he put out a book, Secret History of Twin Peaks. And basically it was all about secret society, sex cult, Crowley, all that stuff. And that's what I had in my earlier analysis. So I felt vindicated. I felt like I'd cracked the Lynch code to a degree with at least Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of really deep esoteric stuff in there. You got portals, you've got, you know, demons, you've got aliens, you've got sex magic, secret societies, all that.
Do you think any of that shit would be allowed? Like if you pitched a movie right now, even if you were like some big guy, like they seemed like when was the last kind of movie that had any of that stuff in it?
It seems like there've been a few movies that kind of tried to be like Lynch or Lynchian, but they were more independent art house films that I've seen. I can't really think of anything like theatrical.
Nothing big budget, yeah, nothing theatrical release. Yeah, that just kind of seems like it's over. It almost feels like they're like the jig's up a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Maybe with the Epstein stuff, and they're like, we can't really do that. It's kind of telling on ourselves.
Exactly. I mean, Lost Highway, dude, that movie is... I can't believe that was ever even in theaters. That's so insane to think about. Just a wild, just totally non-linear, crazy hellscape movie in movie theaters.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what normies were thinking in the 90s when they went to see Lost Highway.
I mean, I remember watching when I was like, I think I was probably 17, and my brother...
That sounds about when I was.
My brother got rented Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that, and I remember got to the end of that, and I was like, I don't even know what I just watched. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, I don't think that's a movie for like a 17-year-old, or maybe just at the time I was just like not in like the headspace to watch a movie like that, because I remember I was like I was like barely following it, and then I watched it again, and I go, okay, I get this a little more, but yeah, his movies were like specifically fucking. A lot of them were pretty tricky.
Yeah, they're dreamscapes. It's surrealism. It's the shamanic journey. You know, that's kind of the key. For example, to Twin Peaks is, you know, fire walk with me. One shouts out between two worlds, which is a shamanic type of phrase. So I think, you know, Lynch at that time, at that phase, was interested in shamanic traditions. He was interested in Tibetan Buddhism. So hence you get Agent Dale Cooper being so obsessed with Tibet and all this kind of stuff. So tulpas come up in the show. That's a Tibetan Buddhism thing. So learning more about kind of comparative religion, I think, really helped kind of crack the code. And then as you get towards later Inland Empire, that's expressly influenced by Hindu metaphysics and Hindu philosophy. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, we cover on my other podcast with Ryan Long, we cover tulpas all the time, but they're all just like basically disassociating girls now. Like, essentially, they're all just, like, these girls where you're like, I think you just have, like, a dissociative disorder. And they're very much like, we do not have dissociative disorders. And they post in this Reddit about, like, they'll literally, it'll always be, like, this thing where it's, like, some chick will be like, yeah, I'm, like, a vegetarian, but, like, one of my tulpas, like, isn't. Like, how do I, all these crazy questions. Like, you're like, and then we always yeah, go ahead.
Another trend I noticed on TikTok, and it has to be, like, some kind of MK Ultra thing. Because have you ever heard of the Therions?
The wolf people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, I have alternate personalities, but one of them's a wolf. Like,
yeah.
I got another one's a parrot. I got another one that's a crab. Like, what?
Right.
This is like next level multiple personality insanity.
Yeah, we always joke with it because someone will be like, so it's almost always women or like non-binary, like dudes or whatever. Yeah, right now with the tulpa stuff, but they'll always say like, they're like, I have 7 tulpas, and we just always find it so funny where because you're like, do you have any like tulpas where it's just like a dude in a MAGA hat? Like never like
I
some
got a far right tulpa, but we kind of keep him in the other.
yeah. Like you never have that. It's just they all just happen to share your exact beliefs about everything, and you're just trying to figure out how to like bang them. That's a lot of it. I don't know if like the original tulpas had like because obviously it's changed so much probably since like the original use of tulpas, but now it's all like, how do I fuck my tulpa? Like, is it like, do I need consent? Is like, if I make a move on my tulpa, is it like
tulpa rights?
Yeah, no, it's fucking crazy. For the David Lynch thing, actually, I was wondering, was he ever like involved in any secret societies that people knew of? Or that he referenced?
I mean, not exactly. You could call transcendental meditation maybe adjacent to that, but not explicitly that I'm aware of. I mean, transcendental meditation is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. It's, just meditate, go within, and then try to create a reality within you and then bring that into this world, that kind of stuff. So anytime David Lynch is talking about inspiration or whatever, he will kind of talk about that. And I went deep inside and I caught an idea. And what you do is you bring that idea along with you, and a string of pearls of other ideas will come. So, but I mean, he seems to have done that for most of his stuff. Like, it's based on TM.
Right. Interesting. All right. Let's take another call here. Actually, phone lines are open. Everybody, 1-888-949-2969. Excuse me. We got Jared. Jared, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. How you doing?
Very good. You are on with
Subway,
Jay Dyer.
Jared?
Jared Fogle? Do your best, Jared Fogle. Is he dead?
There, but,
Did he get killed?
Is he dead? Did
Jared
they
Fogle
gave him
still
the good old stabby?
Did he get fucked up? Is he still alive?
I don't know. I know he lost
Maybe
weight.
they saved him up. I couldn't tell you.
Like, when he got fired and quit being the Subway, he lost weight, and I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh, he's in prison. I thought I read something where he got killed in prison. Maybe that's somebody else. I know that the Michigan State dude got fucked up in prison, but I don't think he died either. Larry Nassar.
Yeah, they took a stab at him or two, but they didn't get him. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Jared?
No, just always fun. Thank you for having me on, sir. Good times.
Yeah, no problem.
So the idea is, we got two stories or subjects we could discuss. We got the Jewish Japanese demons.
Sure. I've never even heard of such a thing, so you've piqued my interest already.
Oh, okay. So there's the Tengu. The Tengu is a kami or a god or be considered a demon. It has a very interesting nose.
Okay.
And it happens to have the little box on its head.
Like for the praying? You mean the whatever they're called?
The phylactery. The phylactery that they wear. And not just that, he happens to carry the Torah no Maki. And Torah no Maki means scroll. He carries the Torah scroll.
Okay.
So
I feel like this is setting up for a joke. Is this a joke? Like a long, like
no.
Norm Macdonald kind of joke?
No, this is in Japanese folklore and history.
That's crazy.
And one of the things that this creature is associated with is, not always good. And there's also another Japanese kind of demon creature that has a bald spot that's called a kappa. But what do Jews wear on their bald spot?
It does sound pretty made up, but I mean, honestly, if you're making this up on the spot, this would be a tough thing to make up.
No, I'm not making anything up. What do Jews wear? They wear the kippah.
Yeah.
There's the kippah. Okay. So this you can look it up right now.
I'm trying to look it up. Tengu, Japanese demon.
Yeah, well, the Tengu you can look up, and you'll see that. But you can also look up the kappa, and it's lizard-like or turtle-like, and it's also associated with kidnapping children, raping women, looking at their skirts, eating flesh. You can see it on Wikipedia, bro. That's not like something I'm just like.
I mean, it would be.
No, that's the kappa. Yeah. The kappa was the one that I just said that has the missing little bald cap, and it says it's associated with the dish. What's the dish? It's a little
matzo balls.
Cap, bro.
Okay, so
a kippa is a kappa. It's the same thing.
It's a
the word
turtle demon
association.
and he's balding. Like, what does that have to do with Jews?
You could see it.
It looks like a
It's
turtle
very
kind
clear.
of bird. It looks like a bird. Yeah, you're kind of reaching right now. I'm looking at a photo of this thing.
The tango is the bird one. The turtle with the bald cap is the one that I'm speaking of. So
Okay.
if we talk about the tengu is the different one. We talk about the keppa is the same as the kippa. What are the
Yeah, I see the
Jews do?
kappa. It looks like he has like a friar's haircut, like a friar monk haircut.
I was gonna say it could be like
He's got the little bald spot.
Franciscan.
Yeah, he could be wearing a fucking a yarmulke, no?
I could see
Kippa.
that. Yeah, I don't see the square
So
part though. Anyways, what are you getting? What are you
hold
getting
on.
at here?
Just language. Let's just get into language. Kappa, kippa. Very similar, no?
That's a fallacy, dude.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Hold on.
Bit of a reach.
Hold on. How is it a reach?
I said a reach. It's a bit of a reach.
Oh, how is it a reach? How
I
is
mean,
it a
yes,
reach? Kappa and kippa.
they sound the same, sure. I was
So
expecting like a
when-
grabbler
when-
type
when-
dude.
when
This is like this
Japanese
thing looks like
people
a
say
bird.
basketball, they say basketball. They say basketball. No, they don't say basketball. They fucking say basketball. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah. Oh, that's the one you're talking about. Yeah, oh yeah, I see that. He's got the big nose. That looks like my grandfather.
well, that's the kip. That's the tengu. That's a different one.
That's the
But then
tengu.
you can also see that the Hata. Okay, the Hata clan have the Star of Remfram, which isn't the Star of David. There is no Star of David. It doesn't exist in the Bible. It's Saturn worship. It's Kronos.
Yeah.
It's feminine and male invert.
Okay, what is your question?
There's no question. What I'm
okay.
saying is there's
Oh, excuse me.
It's a sermon, dog. It ain't a question. It's a sermon.
It's a sermon, yeah.
There's evidence of Jews
in
who are
Japan.
considered demons in Japan.
Well, I feel like you're making the linkage to the Jew part. I don't see.
No. The Japanese are saying this. This isn't me.
Oh, the Japanese are saying
okay.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not me, buddy. Okay.
Kappa
Okay.
Jewish. Let's see if I Google this. No. See, everything that comes up is
What's the
Kippa.
Kappa?
No, everything that comes up is Kippa
No,
when you
look up
search that.
Kappa.
I know, that's
And
what I
it's just
searched,
like
and it
little-
all just comes up Kippas. All right.
I beg your pardon. One more time?
No, I
Little
said.
Side note.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andrei Yushensky, Kiev. This is another important one. This is one of the blood libel ones that I didn't get to finish last time. It's important that we also mention these blood libel incidences.
All right. I'm going to
there's
take
a
another
ritual
call.
Murder of a 13-year-old Andrei Yushensky in 1911, Ukraine, Russia.
Okay.
Beg your pardon.
All right.
We'll,
Thanks,
we'll,
man.
we'll pick it up next time. Love you, Danny.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Next
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us know what's going on right now.
Well, I mean, we could talk about it, buddy. I
No.
can get into it.
We're good. All right. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Probably let him go a few minutes too long, but I was. He had my interest peaked for a moment there. For a moment. Let's take a call from Jacob here. Thanks again for coming on, Jay. I appreciate it. This is a fun show. Jacob, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
What's up? You are on with Jay Dyer. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? I wanted to ask Jay. I know he works for InfoWars. There was a guy. He was a conspiracy theorist back in the 90s. His name was William Cooper. Has you ever heard of this guy?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Where do you think he went wrong? I kind of looked into some of his stuff, and I guess he kind of came to the conclusion that everything was like a intergalactic, like space situation. I just don't understand how somebody can read so many classified documents and then just like fall prey to the shiny object. I don't know.
Can you give some background on who this guy is, just for people who don't know?
So basically, like go back to the boomer era of conspiracy theory stuff, Gen X boomer era of like 80s, 90s conspiracy stuff. He was kind of he was a popular radio guy, William Cooper, and he wrote a book called Behold a Pale Horse. He did a series called Mystery Babylon or something like that. And he's kind of Alex Jones-ish before Alex Jones, and they kind of didn't like each other, had some squabbles. But at one point, he went really deep down this kind of alien rabbit hole where he thought that there's a government deal with the aliens and Jesus was an alien that was a hologram. It got really crazy. And then later on,
It got really crazy.
Supposedly he said something like, "Oh, I was misled. Like the government gave me these fake documents." And I tuned out when I heard I'm not into alien stuff. I think it's really dumb. So I just usually tune out.
Me too. Yeah, when I heard the alien conclusion, it kind of boggled my mind a little bit.
Same here.
Yeah, so that was my question. That was my question for Jay, if he actually heard of this guy and if he kind of came to the same.
Is he still alive?
No,
he was killed by the government. Actually,
he was killed by the government.
I don't know how he died. I know he's
dead. It was I think it was like a tax enforcement operation. They were trying to arrest him, and he wouldn't go. I guess he went out swinging. I'm not exactly sure, but he was killed on his own property, from my understanding.
Crazy.
But
they really want their money.
That was the question. I was more so actually going to ask you a question, Danny.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were mentioning something about some sort of document you were reading about some sort of economic hit job we were going to execute on the rest of the world.
Yeah, I just referenced it. It's called User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System, and it's literally like the playbook that Trump's following right now.
So when you said that, it actually kind of piqued my interest because I've noticed this trend with our currency and the rest of the world's currency. As time has progressed, the dollar has become so strong, and that would seem to be a positive for a country to have a strong currency. But it seems like the rest of the world,
for exports.
As our currencies, it's bad. It's not just bad for that. It seems like it's bad for the world as a whole, because the stronger our dollar is, the more currency they have to exchange in return to get our dollar, and it makes them want to buck our currency even faster as the reserve currency. That's why I think this BRICS thing is happening, is because these countries are all getting charged out the ass for these dollars, and the price of those dollars keep going up.
Yeah, but Trump is basically saying if you trade with these BRICS countries, if you even try and do this, he's like, I'll fuck you over. You basically, you won't be able to do it. He's gonna this is such a crazy needle to thread, because he's essentially you have to use the dollar. We're gonna weaken it. You're not gonna like it. We're gonna tariff the shit out of you, but we really want the dollar to go down because it would make American manufacturing. That's it basically says the main reason why America lost its manufacturing base has a lot to do with the fact that the dollar is so strong and has just always been so strong. And they can't, because it's a reserve currency, everybody holds all their money in US dollars. It's really difficult to devalue, really difficult on nominal terms anyways.
I've also seen this thing with the Great British Pound, where the Great British Pound is at all-time low versus the dollar.
Yeah,
where it's at $1.20 for USD for one Great British Pound. When I was a kid, it was $1.90 for a Great British Pound. Now it's $1.20. It's that's a pretty stark difference in amount. You know what I mean? The rest of the Western world is almost hinging on us to do something about this. And if we don't, then it's we're all going to collapse together.
Yeah. I don't know.
At least
Jay,
that's what it seems like.
Any thoughts, Jay?
I mean, when I hear this kind of stuff, I'm just thinking Bitcoin's the answer. This is boomer.
Dude, when I was reading
economics.
When I was reading this today, actually, I was thinking specifically that I'm if they manage to make, because all crypto is denominated in US dollars.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, nobody cares how much one Bitcoin is in any other currency. It's just, that's the standard price. So you're if you devalue the US dollar, then that just makes Bitcoin shoot up essentially. I mean, you get more.
Yeah,
Bitcoin
I won't keep
dollar.
you guys. I imagine there's other callers on the line, and I don't want to keep you guys much longer. But I just, when I heard you say that, it kind of sparked my interest. I got to look at that paper myself. But thank you guys for talking. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Take care, guys.
All right. Oh, all right. Let's take another caller. We got a question for Jay, and we know that Ben is drinking. Ben, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You are on with Jay Dyer. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Cool. How you guys doing tonight?
Very well.
Good.
Yeah. Wait. Well, the reason I was calling was I got a family member, and they're studying up in the Northwest, and part of the DEI initiatives and stuff like that actually wiped out their scholarship. And it's like in environmental studies or something like that. They're getting their doctorate. I don't have a high school diploma, so something like that. But
are they? What
yeah,
is
so
what is their category that they fit in? Like, are they some
I
diverse
think it's
person?
environmental studies.
No. I'm saying that your
it
family
will-
member.
well,
Like,
oh,
are they a member of some sort of
sorry,
protected class?
Indigenous. So
They're indigenous. Okay. And really, they're taking it from the indigenous people? Man, if they were in Canada, we had someone call in on my other show a while ago and basically was saying they live in this like native reserve in like northern Ontario, and they just had some deal with the government because they were on their property was like some mine, and they made a deal, some mining rights deal like 100 years ago that didn't track inflation, and then the Canadian government was like, hey, we want to basically just pay you all this money we owe you inflation adjusted. He's like, everybody on his reserve got like $250,000 just cash payment.
Oh shit.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and in Canada, like that's where I'm from. In Canada, they just are like giving this shit away. They're like, if you know, I don't even think they asked for it.
I gotta find that Elizabeth Warren 1% Native American.
Well, it
gene.
sounds like in America they don't care as much because this person. I mean, if you're losing DEI scholarships because
I'm gonna identify as a Canadian citizen.
you don't want that. I'm telling you.
Well,
Oh, I
hear
don't.
me out. So
Maybe I don't.
I believe I believe they're studying. It was something like environmental. So, like they've traveled all over. They work with like the national parks and stuff like that, and they're doing a lot of different things. But I don't understand like what that have to do with DEI. Like I understand like diversity and shit like that, but like they were doing environmental science, and it just seemed kind of weird to me. Is all.
Well, I mean, they probably just got some. They were giving scholarships to people who are, I don't know, DEI qualifications, whatever the fuck that means. And then I don't know. I didn't know they're just like this is in the last week.
Yeah, like literally today. So she's going for her doctorate, and she's supposed to graduate in like June, and she can't even write her paper. Is what I heard, which I don't understand, but.
Yeah, I have no clue.
So they took away the scholarship, even though she's indigenous, because of DEI. Is that what you're saying?
Like basically, yeah, they probably ended all these DEI. I mean, they're doing the stuff where there's like, you know, no transgender people in the military and all that stuff. It must fall under something
and I
like that.
understand.
I mean, to take it away in the middle of your thing, it seems crazy.
Yeah, like she's got like a couple months ago, and everything's done. I mean, she's been in school forever, but
I mean, can she just
can
she just like take out a loan or something?
Yeah, could you just do a little bit of a loan for a little money?
Oh, she's down to one semester. Yeah, somebody's gonna kick in something for her to finish. But
yeah, why she only take one semester? Sounds like a real DEI hire.
No, like she's graduating in June, so I guess that's like a semester to go or something like that.
Oh, well then whatever.
Quarter,
I mean, that sucks,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, man. Anything else?
No, that's it, dude.
All right, thanks, dude.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, man. All right, phone lines are open if anybody. We're gonna wrap this up in shortly. I had a question actually because you probably cover this stuff. You know the Patriot Front. Those dudes.
I know of them.
You know of them. Do you have any thoughts on them?
My guess from intuitive glance and analysis would be fake Fed thing.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm wondering about because Kash Patel has his his confirmation thing this week or whatever, and he seems like the anti doing any of that shit, like, you know, having FBI agents literally pop out of U-Hauls in khaki pants and like pretend to be fucking
preppy,
like
right.
preppy, like white nationalists or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
But so, because I've actually always thought, because I've seen their like Telegram group, and unless, you know, they're really like putting this thing on, like they actually do seem like they are this like legitimate thing somewhat, but everybody, like, it always makes me laugh so much because they're trying to be like, no, we're actually real, and everybody's like, no, like nobody believes that they're real. But then I guess the question will be if Kash Patel gets nominated and they just disappear, then you're like, yeah,
Well, no.
yeah, we'll just know.
I mean, that's a great point. Like, also, you know, a lot of those situations, I have read a decent amount on this kind of stuff. Not so much them, but past instances of these kinds of things, and like Fed groups or whatever, and COINTELPRO and all that. A lot of times it's just like one or two dudes that are kind of the informants or the, you know, handler people. So the majority of the people are going to be thinking, oh no, we're good, we're legit. So, you know, it only takes a couple people in these kind of organizations to be kind of the provocateur front person. Like if you look into Oklahoma City and Elohim City, that it was structured that way, where it was very few people that were the insiders.
Yeah, I think I had what was his name, Richard. Fuck, I can't remember, but he covers all the Oklahoma City stuff in depth.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was, I can't remember if it was him who was saying, like, there was a situation with Oklahoma where there was like two informants who like didn't know they were each informants. Yeah, like they didn't know each other, and then it was like one of these things where it just ended up mostly being like informants. And it's just like barely any real people, similar to probably like the Gretchen Whit.
Well, the
Whitmer
militias
thing.
a lot of times turn out to be like different feds, and it's like 5 feds and like 2 rednecks.
Yeah, for sure. And you're like, this is just mostly feds, and I guess they're just trying to get them caught up in something so they can say they're doing shit. Because I don't know how
justifying the budget, justifying the
Yeah. I mean, that's the one that I'm most looking forward to out of all these guys is Kash Patel, because he literally just wants to like shut down the FBI, basically.
Yeah, he said some pretty wild stuff.
He said something on that Sean Ryan interview. He said crazy shit. He's like, day one, I'm turning the FBI building into a museum of the deep state. And you're just like, that's crazy guy to hire. I mean, it'll be awesome just to see how that works, if that can even be done.
Exactly.
I'm somewhat skeptical. All right, let's take another call, and then we'll let you go. Where can people find you? Where just your YouTube channel?
Yeah, you can find me there. I have a website, jaysanalysis.com. Got archives there. I'm on Rockfin, which is a great free speech space platform. Every Friday, host the 4th Hour of Alex Jones. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all that.
Nice. Okay, let's take a call here, and then we'll wrap it up. We got Slav here. This should be interesting.
Hello.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, what's up, dude?
Hey, Jay. You're familiar, you probably heard it before, of the cloud prevent strategy.
Yeah, where you essentially run up the debt to collapse the system. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know that it is the Kalergi plan that fuels it? Have you heard of that?
I mean, I have Count Kalergi's book. I've read him. So what does that I mean, I know about the 2 different things, but what does that have to do with Cloud and Piven?
Well, what is it? Wouldn't you think that like a mass importation of like, you know, like a biblical locust level of, you know, so it's from different latitudes into developed nations is how you just basically set the cloud prevent strategy into motion? Or
I see what you're saying. Like, so Kalergi's destroying the existing people groups through the importation of the people logically connects then to using Cloward and Piven to crash the economic system. Yeah, I think.
It's like the whole thing.
Has that Clower and Piven thing, has that been done like in other countries that we like know of? Or is that like a theoretical?
Yeah, well, Danny, you know how you said like all these developed European nations and white Christian nations, you talk about they have a labor shortage. Well, the data has been come out from the last like 5 to 10 years where, not they can't even what is it? Their unemployment amongst asylum seekers who came there for work, is unemployment's like basically 60-70%. 90% of the unemployed are women. I mean, what is it? And then no, 90% of the asylum seekers that are women are also unemployed. So basically, it's just like, and pretty much 90% of them sit on government assistance. Like, they're basically doing what the Hasids do. They all hang outside, and the most work they do is just stand in line to collect their benefits.
Yeah.
So it's a great replacement reality. It's not a theory. My question was, what do you think what is like the most practical way, and I don't care about humanity in this sense, in this question, in this hypothetical, but the most practical way to reverse all of this?
I mean, I was talking about this today on a live stream. I mean, it took 100 years of social engineering and like Fabian socialist technique to get down the tube to where we are. So it's probably going to take many, many years to climb back out. I don't know all the answers because, I mean, we're already locked into a global economy. So I don't know how we're going to be able to totally not be connected to
to like just unravel that is.
Yeah, I don't have any answers.
But can it start with normalizing, letting people think like, hey, those people don't look like me, don't behave like me, don't speak like me, can't communicate with me. They can't interact. Their own way of acting in their own society in their head doesn't match mine. Like, should it start from like a bottom up level instead of a top?
It seems like people are waking up to it because they're being forced to, because things are getting really crazy. I mean, people are getting to the point where they just don't care.
Deportation. Dude, half my complex gone. I got a whole stack of fresh matches
Actually,
behind the dumpster.
You literally half the people who live where you live are gone. He lives in Texas. Are they gone, or are they just not leaving their house?
Oh no, some of them sneak the fuck out in the middle of it. Like I just said, there's a stack of fresh mattresses and a whole bunch of stuff. Like, and they're getting petty. Like they all like, because our complex has like 2 buildings for it. The other building is way more of them, and they messed up their whole laundry room, like being petty, dude. Ooh,
and where are they going though? Like, you think they're self-deporting?
Dude, if they're running and hiding, they know that just proves that they're guilty. If they're self-deporting, good. I don't want them back here anyways. No chances. Honestly, anybody getting deported should not even be given a chance.
Chance for what?
Anybody should never get a chance to try and come back into America.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, most of them are you get probably like an automatic 20-year bar for a lot of those people.
No. They should be branded on their forehead or on their face somewhere to make sure that
I don't think that's happening.
Step into them. Well, I mean, hey, it's been done before, so.
Yeah, where?
Gucci Mane.
Literally,
ice cream cone branded on his face. Boom.
Yeah, sure. Gucci Mane. Not allowed back at the ice cream shop. That's about it.
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, you guys have a great night.
All right, later, man. Actually, we just have one more caller here. Let's take this, and then I'll let you go. Thanks again for coming on here, Jay.
Yeah, man. Having a good time.
Yeah. This person has been calling nonstop. Hello. Are you there?
Hey.
Hey,
Danny. Hey,
what's up?
Hey.
You're on with Jay.
I had a question for Jay Dyer.
Go ahead.
How accurate? Well, we sort of know that the Getty family is a little suspect, or are. But how accurate is the I live in LA, and I've heard this a lot. How accurate is it that the Getty Center in Los Angeles is actually a human trafficking hub and one of these places where elites come to meet?
I don't know. Honestly, don't. I don't know a whole lot about the Gettys. I mean, I know about John Paul Getty and some of the family drama, but I actually don't know a whole lot about him. I study more like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and J.P. Morgan, Vanderbilts. I don't know a lot about the Gettys, honestly.
Yeah, I sort of grew up in that area of Los Angeles, and I just have to say there's a lot of things now that I'm older that were just completely suspect. So,
like what?
I'll just check it out. I'm a big fan.
What specifically?
Guns in people's like pallets of guns in like people's backyard that were like tarped up. You know, I remember like some people going missing and then like being found. It's like, and not making a big deal about it, you know, because it was like some rich kids, you know, like their parents didn't want to make a big deal about it. So like, no, you know, but yeah, there's just nefarious activities that happen around there. I would say.
And wasn't the story like one of the kids was kidnapped and then the John Paul Getty was like, yeah, I don't really care.
Really?
Yeah,
something crazy like that. Like he was such a rich asshole. He was just like, I'm not paying your ransom money.
Oh, he just straight up was like, I'd rather have my money than my
like,
fucking
yeah,
kid.
keep him, dude. Whatever.
That's insane.
Have fun with him.
Yeah, he's the kid I hate the most.
And yeah, you guys. And yeah, I just have to say, my mom sort of started working at the VA center that's not far from there, and she told me, I mean, it is an old part of LA, but yeah, she told me there's a whole bunch of tunnel systems down there. Which
that's true. There are tunnels all through LA. That is true.
Yeah, and I found a couple in Hollywood where I used to work, which was pretty cool. But yeah, man, thanks you guys. Thanks for taking
cool,
the
man.
time.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I saw. Have you ever seen those videos about the Vegas, all the underground tunnels in Vegas that like all the fucking like homeless people basically live in, and there's all like tons of like sex offenders and stuff. There's really cool documentaries on YouTube. Vegas has all these like, I don't know if they're like aqueducts or what, but they're these like there's like this underground like tunnel system, and it's just like full of people. Like it's like
it seems like it seems like all the cities basically have this previously unknown tunnels system going on underneath them. All the big cities now. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some cool like YouTube documentaries about it. But all right, we're gonna let you go, man. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it, dude. And yeah, people go check out his YouTube. Check him out on Twitter. InfoWars.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on.
All right, later.
Jay Dyer, everybody. All right, we are going to keep the show moving on because we hit the 20 super chats. So let me just do this and that. All right. I hope it's not buffering for people. I keep getting this notification that YouTube is buffering. But we are going to go for another 41 minutes. That's what we're going to go. Let's read some super chats, actually. Let's get to the super chats. I haven't read any yet. So let's read them. Oh, man, my computer's lagging right now. We got Dylan Farnham. He says, I was told by reliable sources you've been saying the N-word. I already read that, actually. Sean from Pittsburgh, here'd you go. Eddie Grimm says, Lev Fur is gargantuan. I can't confirm. And I'm going to be on the Lev Fur podcast. I'm doing it tomorrow, actually, after I take my dog to PT. I literally am a guy now who has a dog, and I take him to this water treadmill thing. It's unfortunate. And the phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. It's open lines right now. So anything you guys want to talk about, we shall talk about. Logan Sorter says, I got 5 on it. Anton says, how to catch an illegal. I don't know. That wasn't a question. Poison1553 says, I wish Cristiano Ronaldo deported me. I'd ask for a selfie before they put me on the bus. Yeah, me too, man. I mean, if I ever get deported, I hope Dr. Phil and Tom Homan do it. Patrick Riley says, lucky number 7, Dan Buckley. Things like that Stephen Mirren nugget is part of the reason why this show rules. Not boring. That stuff's important. Low value mail is the gateway. Honestly, if you have any sort of economics interest, it is a little heady, but go check it out. It's pretty crazy. Anton says it's easy to get a fake Social Security and get all the benefits. I've heard. Eric Burleson says, killing it, Danny. Let's keep this thing going on. We're keeping it going. Logan Sorter says, got to pay to play after show super chat. Gabriel with the super chat. Gabriel with another super chat. Thank you, Gabriel. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Let's talk Tengu on the after show. We could talk Tengu. I don't know. If anybody knows anything about Tengu, or the guy who wants to call in and talk about Tengu again, check it out. Dan Buckley doubling down on the Stephen Mirren Nuggets show is the best. Horseshoe and hand grenades after show. Kitty Valentine says, what's Jay's take on Ammon Hillman, that creepy gate looking fucking Greek classicist that thinks Jesus was a bad dude? Shit, I wish I saw this while we still had him on. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Go check out the Horseshoes and hand grenades podcast, everybody. Conspiracy extremists, YouTube won't let me send any more money on my Horseshoes and hand grenade account after show because I have a fun story to tell you. Well, the phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. I said I would give away a Patreon, a 1-year Patreon membership. So I got to figure that out right now. What is this thing called? Spin wheel generator? Wheel of names, random name picker. All right, let's take a call. And I'll do this again. Let's take a call from Brent. And we lost him. I hope this isn't. I'm not having any streaming issues. Is this lagging for anybody? Can you tell me? Because I get all these messages that go. I get. There's no after show anymore, by the way, everybody. Just so you know, there's no proper after show. All we're doing is, if we get the extra time, we'll do the extra time. And then there's a audio only episode that I put out for the patrons. Let's take this call. Let's see. This is from British. I think this is from British Columbia. Who am I speaking with?
JR. Hi, Danny.
JR. What's up, buddy? How are things?
Good. We just, the wife and I sat down and watched the show tonight. That was a good guest. And she had a question for him, but didn't want to ask it until the very, very end. And now he's gone. But maybe you know about it. But first, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you still even use the voicemail system that's on your phone line?
I don't. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I have like probably 1,000 unlistened to voicemails now, and it's impossible to manage. Because I remember at one point I was like listening to some of them
thing that you would dip into
on the after show. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go back to that. And then I'm not even exaggerating. There must be at least 1,000 of them. At this point,
wasn't like way back, like in the very early days.
Yeah, on the after show,
I was up in Alaska or something, and he had that really weird thing about the hitman and the wife.
Oh yeah, the guy with the hitman with the wife from the Philippines or whatever was it? And then I tried to call.
Took off with the kids.
Yeah, she like stole his kids, and I forgot about that. I bet I could probably find that. Find that voicemail. I think I have them all. I think I have them all saved, to be honest.
I think he doxed himself on that voicemail too.
He did. Man, you know what? I now remember too. I had the guy call in, and I played. The guy worked on a submarine, and he called in to the show.
Oh yeah.
And he worked on a submarine in Canada, and he called in, and he was super blacked out, and he said all this like kind of shit, and then I got a voicemail the next day. And I don't really check the voicemails like after the show. And I checked the voicemail the next day, and it was a call from this guy, and he's just like, "Hey man, I called in the show last night. I was like really drunk." He's like, "Can you please edit out my phone call? Like I could get like fired from the Canadian Navy." And I didn't because I was like, I can't do that. I think I actually did remove his call from the audio portion because I could do that. And then from the main show on YouTube, I was like, I can't edit it out. So sorry. Wonder what he's
well,
up
you
to.
should just nuke everything that's in there and go terra firma and then start using it again.
Start using it again.
It's
That's a good
thing
idea,
for
actually.
an after
You know
show.
what? Maybe I'll do that.
Or
I'll
you
add that.
pay a guy to do your show production, so have him go through it and find the good ones.
Oh God, I
and
wouldn't
then you
wish
don't have
that
to
on
waste your
him.
time with them all.
But you know what I will actually, you know what that gives me a good idea for? I will add some voicemails to the audio show that I do. I'm going to add actually that gives me a good idea because I don't always do these after show portions, but I will add the voicemails. I'll do a voicemail segment. I'm going to make a note of that voicemail segment for the
cool. We'll
for the
mention that in
Patreon
the
show.
Patreon post so that
Yeah.
I think to listen to it because I normally just do the YouTube replay.
Yeah. Well, no. This is for the audio only for the Patreon, so it's audio only, anyways. But I'll add that to the that, and we'll listen to some voicemails. I bet you I have some fucking crazy ones on there.
Yeah, I hope so. So
Yeah.
okay, on to the main question was.
Yeah, go ahead.
My wife
Sorry.
says that Alex Jones has been posting this stuff on Twitter about how with Trump cracking down on all the border bullshit, they found like 75,000 missing migrant children.
Yeah, I believe that
And
was
she's asking
confirmed
me,
by
like,
Stephen
what does that
Miller.
mean exactly? And I have no idea what that means exactly. So if I got in time, I was going to see if Dyer could comment on that. So maybe you know something about it.
From what I understand, there was all these, illegal children in the United States who came in here, and a lot of times, because you got to pay a lot of money to like coyotes and stuff to get in. So, from what I understand, they were basically being like trafficked to pay back the money they owed, like essentially like child slave labor, prostitution, stuff like that. So I think that's what they're saying is I don't know. I don't exactly know how they just like in a week went and found.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to make. Like, did they find them all just in those detention shelters that are at the border, and they like went through and did an inventory?
It seems impossible that they could do that in a week. That literally just seems impossible.
Yeah.
That they can do that. So I don't know exactly, but that is what they're.
Well, you mentioned Stephen Miller that he confirmed it, so I'll look up Stephen Miller and see if we can get more.
Yeah, Stephen
details
Miller's
on
like that Weasley dude, bald guy who works for Trump. Who also, interesting fact, Stephen Miller.
Oh, is that the guy that he's from like Parler or something like that?
No. He was part of the Trump administration the last time. He's like the guy who like every liberal like hates to their core. But
Cool.
when the Duke University lacrosse rape scandal happened, that
Right.
they were recently, if people don't know, they were recently exonerated over the woman who accused them. She's in prison for murder, I believe. And
Yeah,
she
killed his
came out.
boyfriend or something.
She just came out and said, "I lied about the entire thing. I made up the whole thing." Because remember, like everybody, literally now you're like, "Oh, you're a lacrosse player. You're like you must be a rapist." Like it's legitimately just like what people think about lacrosse players because of this thing. But anyways, he was at Duke. And he was like the only guy speaking out on because he was like, I guess, in like student government or whatever. And he was like the only guy at the time speaking out on these guys' behalf, saying like, this is a lie. And there's like news articles, like there's him on like, I think like Sean Hannity or something, some Fox show.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. I'll
man.
look into that and see if maybe there's more details there. Anyways, good
Yeah.
show tonight, and we'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Thanks, JR.
Good night.
JR, everybody. Let's take another call here. I'm gonna spin the wheel in a moment to give away a 1-year Patreon membership, courtesy of Tony. So Logan says, listen and reply to a voicemail as a podcast. Well, I'll add it to the audio podcast. So we'll do that. That'll be a little feature add to the audio podcast.
Danny, real quick, your wife just called. She wants to know if you gave the dog medicine or not.
My wife's fucking retarded. That checks out. No, I did not give the dog his medicine.
Okay.
That does sound like something she would do, though.
She is listening right now, so she just heard you say that. So just
no,
saying.
yeah, I didn't. Oh, I have several texts for him. Yeah, he's on this stuff called Meloxicam that he cannot get double dosed. No, I did not give the dog his meloxicam. Guys, my wife's retarded. And some people say that like kind of cutesy. It's not cutesy. She's not well. All right, let's take another call here. We also got Mav Sammy. Danny Biden just completed one of the biggest human trafficking programs in history. Hundreds of thousands of kids. All right, interesting. Hello, Chad.
Yo, what's going on, Danny?
How's it going? My wife just found out she can get a hold of me by calling into my call-in show. That's not a good precedent to set.
They're definitely not.
I might need a new number.
You shouldn't have said that on the show.
No, it's all good. What's up, man?
I wanted nothing much. I wanted to know. Do you know who Lord Jamal is?
Lord Jamal. I don't know who Lord Jamal is.
No, Lord Jamar.
Oh, Lord Jamar. No, Jamar.
Yep.
American rapper and DJ.
Yeah, he's a rapper. He's formerly of the group Brand Nubian.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure only
I know Brand.
Yeah,
I know Brand Nubian. Yeah, I know Brand Nubian.
Yeah, punks jump up.
And it says he discovered in '96. He discovered Dead Prez.
Yeah, I read that the other day. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. What's he? So what's the scoop on Lord Jamar? What's he up to?
Well, Lord Jamar, he was on his friend Godfrey's podcast. Godfrey's a comedian. I'm sure you probably heard of him.
Of course.
But he was on Godfrey's podcast, and because him and Godfrey had apparently been going back and forth about this flat Earth stuff. So
is Lord Jamar a flat earther?
Lord Jamar is a flat earther. Yes,
interesting.
He is. And guess who was listening? Well, I'm not going to say listening, but essentially, Godfrey had on Lord Jamar, and also he had on Professor Dave. I remember you had on
Flat Earth Dave. He used to do a podcast with another comedian, so he's kind of like in the comedy. I guess he knows some comedians. He used to do a podcast with Mike Cannon about conspiracies and stuff, like years ago. But so were they getting into it?
Professor Dave and Lord Jamar, yes, they were definitely getting into it. It was really bad. I mean, they were only getting into it because, Lord Jamar doesn't essentially he was just arguing with somebody who knew way more about the subject or whatever. But all right, so cool. So then Lord Jamar has his podcast, right? And guess who he has on? He has on Flat Earth Dave. And I'm sitting here like, I said, wait a second, because I'm not gonna lie, but before you had him on, I had already saw his interaction with Professor Dave, and I mean, he essentially got eviscerated. I don't even know if there's any kind way to put that.
Flat Earth Dave with Professor Dave.
No, Professor Dave was giving Flat Earth Dave the business.
Yeah. That's like a legendary. Like he fucking destroys him.
Yeah, but then I was like, so wait a second. So you got destroyed by Professor Dave, and then had on someone else who got destroyed by Professor Dave. I don't really get that one.
Interesting.
If you haven't, it is an interesting little. I wanted to ask though, because I was listening to him, I was really thinking, what are the true implications of like a larger percentage of the world believing that the Earth is flat? Like, are there true ramifications, or is it just going to be like something like, we believe the Earth is flat?
Yeah, that would be a giant, that would be a coordinated, global conspiracy where every government was basically in on this conspiracy, which is rare because I wouldn't even say rare. I don't think it ever happens. There's one thing to have a singular government, perpetuate some sort of conspiracy, which does happen probably a lot. But to say like every government's on board with this one conspiracy nobody would trust anything ever again. Like, we'd be like, what are you guys doing when you say you're going to space? Like, what's NASA? What's when Elon Musk is firing rockets? Like, what is any of this? I mean, dude, anybody who takes air travel and you go like, wait, so the map on your screen is not the map? They're giving you more of what, the algorithm is giving you what they think you want. That's my guess anyways.
All right.
But yeah,
Probably
I remember it really popping up. Kyrie Irving was like the first thing. And then I think COVID really accelerated it because distrust and so much like shit went up where then people started distrusting so much that they're like, yeah, maybe flat earth is fucking happening. That's my only real thought on that. Yeah. I don't know.
What if we eventually find out that we're all wrong? It's a triangle or something.
I mean, it would, it would cause so much fucking shit if that happened. It would be the craziest bomb. I mean, again, we did all think the earth was flat as for a long time. Everybody thought that. Right. And then we moved away from that. To go back to it would be crazy.
To be fair, we all knew that the government was, tapping our phone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they're listening to this right now.
Man. Yeah, that is for sure.
I'm gonna log into Instagram. I'm gonna log into Instagram and I'm gonna have an ad for Flat Earth Dave's app.
Flat Earth Day, man. I'll never forget when I was just like, I put that comment on the feed when he was on. And I was like, yeah, he doesn't even believe that the earth is flat, because if he did, his name wouldn't be Flat Earth Days. It would just be Earth Days.
I mean, also, he has a crazy vested interest in the Flat Earth thing because he has an app that makes tons of money. And if he were to one day just be like, I don't believe this, then you literally are just like killing the golden goose. I think he has 100,000. I think he has 100,000 paid subscribers on his app.
That is bad shit.
I don't know if that's monthly or yearly, but if that's monthly, that's millions of dollars a year.
Jeez, I can't. I mean, hey, grifter's gonna grift, I guess.
Man. Yeah, or maybe he really believes it. I don't know. Maybe he does. I gotta let you go though, Chad. Thanks, buddy.
For sure. Peace.
Chat, everybody. All right, we're going to take some more calls here. Hang on the line. I hope this isn't buffering. I keep getting this thing. It says the bit rate's too high. Now the bit rate's too low. What is it? What is it? And I'm going to do I'm going to spin the wheel for the winner shortly of a year Patreon membership, courtesy of Tony. Shout out to Tony. Real dog move, just giving away. And also, if you're watching this, leave a comment. Top comment for next week will win a 6-month membership. Hello, Drew.
Danny, what's up, buddy?
Yo, how's it going?
What's up? This is Drew. Wait,
What?
first topic.
What?
Shout out Connor Dog. All right, we need a Connor cast. Either one of these episodes all about Connor, or you finagle Ryan somehow into doing a boys cast all about boy dogs, Connor dogs.
Ryan's not a big dog guy. Ryan treats dogs like people. It's really funny. One time we were on the road in Florida. We were in Orlando, and I had Connor with me because my wife can't remember what it was, but I had the dog, and I had to basically take him around on the road for like 3 nights. And then one time, like Ryan, like the dog was in the back seat of this rental car, and Ryan, I think he threw something in the back and it hit Connor, and he just literally was like, sorry. Like he talked to him like he was just like, oh, sorry. Like to a dog. It was so funny.
Like the dog understood.
Well, it's just like he just said sorry like it was like a guy. He's just like, oh, sorry.
Checks out.
Yeah.
That fucking guy. All right, subject 2. Tom Holman era.
Yeah.
Now we're in the Tom Holman era. All right, Marble Mouth. Dude, what about if we monetize this? So instead of taxes going to pay for all this shit, how about we get people in the box office to watch an action movie starring Tom Holman. I mean, it could be somebody else playing him, but Tom Holman, you know, I mean, he looks kind of like Tom. Let's have that guy just shooting a bunch of Mexicans at the border.
Well, I don't know about the shooting Mexicans part, but what about this? I'll do you one better. Instead of an action movie. Because here's the thing. Movies take a lot of work. They take a long time to shoot. Tom Holman does not have 3 months to just dip and shoot a movie. But what if he just, because he seems to be going out and apprehending people with Dr. Phil. They live streamed it last night on Dr. Phil's app. What if they just live stream it on YouTube and then it's just super chats? Super chats.
Monetize it all.
That's what I'm saying. Just like super chats go to cover the cost of apprehension. They could probably, they would fucking clean out.
Money, if they don't make the super chat money to fund it, then that department goes. And then you can get rid of the Doge because we're already doing that through super chat funding.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if he was, dude, if he was live streaming the raids, like that shit would have 50,000 concurrent viewers on YouTube, like all day.
Yeah, you'd have $100 super chats, dude. You'd
have 500, man. You'd have fucking Patriot Eagle 69, just $500 super chats one after another.
You break the super chat button, maybe.
Yeah,
We
I mean,
might have just
again,
figured out the American economy.
I know we are all paying for it with their taxes, though. This shit is not cheap. Apparently, they were saying that the plane that was getting sent to, I think the one to Colombia or one of the South American countries, because they weren't using commercial flights, it was $800,000 a flight to take like 80 people.
Because they're using. By the way, they're coming from the base that I live by, Travis. They're using
really?
C-130s and
Yeah, exactly.
C-17s out of there.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, dude, of course it's going to cost you a shit. It costs you fucking couple $100,000 just to fill it up in fuel.
Yeah, literally
Like
800K to take 80 people to Central America and come back.
Yeah, that's close to just the fuel cost.
Yeah.
Like those things, they
it's 10 grand
carry,
a person.
They carry almost a billion fucking, or was it 500 million tons or some crazy shit, dude?
Yeah, something
it's
crazy.
An insane amount of cargo.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, I like the super chat idea. I don't think he'll do it, but I mean, he is, again, fucking Dr. Phil's live streaming it. Although I went on the site today to watch the recap of the live stream and you can't find it. They're not up there. So I don't know if that was just like, they're just live streaming it. And if you miss it, you miss it.
Oh, see, they're missing out on a giant opportunity, man. They got to jump on this, dude.
I mean, it's not really different. It's not much different than an episode of Cops. Like, this is just border cops.
I mean, they could even do kid coins. With all the kids you get, you'd be like, oh, this is an annual, and you have a coin for every kid. You know?
that would get confusing pretty fast. There'd be 4,000 wand coins.
All wands.
Yeah,
so you have 75,000 kids. How much money is that worth? Just even on black market terms, that's a lot of money in kids.
Yeah,
some kid value.
Yeah. I mean, this is a whole ball of wax right here. It's a tough one to figure out the move.
All right, final point, Danny. I'll let you go. I just want to know, do you think all federal agents wash their legs?
No way, man. I'm telling you, someone came out. I can't remember what we talked about, but like there was vindication for the non-leg washers where there was something, someone sent me something, maybe it was you or somebody, but like basically if you don't wash your legs, they still get clean. And then I think people who do wash their legs are like killing some sort of bacteria or something that you need.
Yeah, no, I read the article too. I didn't send it to you, but I read it when you posted it.
Yeah.
I still call bullshit.
All right, well, I don't wash my legs.
All right,
I'm not gonna wash my legs, and that's that. All right, later, buddy. There'll be no leg washing on this podcast, and if people don't listen to the bathhouse, they're definitely like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" All right, let's take a few more callers here. Oh yeah, fun show, everybody. Conspiracy extremist back on the line. What's up, dude?
How's it going, man? How are you doing?
Very good. I'm very good.
All right. First off, I want to apologize to Jay Dyer. I know he's not here anymore, but I did not give a good enough question for him, and I know
it's all good. I think you know what? There's a weird thing where some people, like, because most people don't take calls. I'm like used to it, but there is like some element where I've seen it on a few guests. Like, what was the one guy? What if alt hissed? Where certain people, the callers just like wear them down. Like you can just see, like just each caller is just chipping away at their like resolve, or like maybe they're just their social interaction like health meter kind of, and it just dings away. And then they just like, it's some people, the calls just exhaust them because they're probably not used to ever taking calls. They're like, I don't talk to this many people in a month. And then they're just forced to talk to all these people one after another.
Yeah, and some of the callers weren't really asking him questions that were intellectual. So, I mean,
no, it happens. I mean, again, it's not called high value mail.
So I did originally. I was trying to get on the pre-show or before he came on, but kids and shit. But I did have a story I'd like to tell you. I'll try to be really quick, and I think you'll find it interesting.
Sure.
So I finally this last Friday, me and my wife got a sitter for the kids. It's difficult to do, and we went to go do our favorite thing, which is see a comedy show. So we went and saw Leonardo Joni. Are you familiar with her?
Oh yeah, I know her. Yeah.
All right, right on. So very funny for a woman, of course. But so we walked in and we're waiting in line to get seated or whatever, and it's in like a basement. So we're at the top of the stairs looking down. I see a dude and he's wearing a sweatshirt with a black sun on the back of his sweatshirt.
Checks out. I mean, based on what I've seen her post on Twitter, I'm like, yeah, that checks out.
So we get seated and I go find the guy. I'm like, hey, what's up? Are you Slav? I think I've heard you on Danny's show. And he's like, no, I'm not Slav. That was a joke, not funny. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you actually thought it was him.
Well, that actually literally that was my first thought. I'm like, it sounds like that dude, the Jewish dude that calls in Danny's show all the time. But the guy was a nice guy. He shared some interesting information with me. But
such as, do you have any care to share?
I asked him where you can find his sweatshirt, and he said I can't find it anymore, but you can find it on the people who they partner with Europa: The Last Battle. Like
the guy's wearing Europa: The Last Battle merch.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, that checks
and
out. That checks out for her for sure. I mean, she basically just figured out like. She's like, I can just say insanely racist things on Twitter and I'll find some audience because not a lot of people are doing that.
And yet I went to go watch her comedy show, so it's working apparently.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, for sure. Doesn't she get like lots of her shows canceled and shit?
Yeah, but to really like, she is not like, she doesn't say as much shit about Jews and stuff as you would think she does. Like, she has a joke that is, I would say, not similar to your 9/11 Jew joke, but she does a 9/11 Jew joke that is funny. I would say yours is funnier, but it's not like she's going, the Jews control the world and yada yada yada. I mean,
well, that's not comedy.
Yeah, it's actually, she was very funny. I got to give you for that.
All right, cool.
So what I thought you found was interesting is after the show was over, we were very happy and we were leaving, and as we left, there were these two upstanding white fellas that were handing out flyers.
I'm sure the show was pretty white, if I could guess. I'm sure the audience looked like a fish. Sure, the audience looked like a fish concert.
No, it's in Phoenix, so there was a lot of Mexicans that were also very racist.
Oh, okay, nice.
So there was a part where she said, "Where's my racist Latinos at?" And they were very excited to be called out. Anyway,
the venue was probably like, "Who the fuck who booked this?"
To be fair, it was really good. She wasn't like, it was a comedy show. It wasn't just a racist white power show. Anyway, we were leaving and we exit the place and these two white guys were handing out flyers. Like, would you like a flyer? I'm like, sure. And I took it. Can I read a little bit from this flyer that I got?
Yes, please read from the flyer.
Okay, so on the front of the flyer, it's just a 11 by 8, 11.5 by 8 flyer. It says on the front, it says, "You have every reason to be proud. Our way, our might, the light is this world, is white." And it says, "White is beautiful." On the back, it says, "You are being replaced. Drive and train accordingly."
Just, normal comedy show stuff. Just the normal kind of stuff that happens on a comedy show.
And well, I figured you'd appreciate this as a fellow white person.
Sure. Allegedly.
And so the foundation is White Lives Matter Official.
Oh, okay.
.me / yeah.
White Lives
So
Matter
I did get
Official.me is the website.
It's t.me /
Oh, it's a Telegram. They don't have a web. They got kicked off of the fucking hosting. That's all they got is a Telegram.
No, they have a x.com / AZ_action_14.
Of course.
Yeah, so I thought I grabbed an extra in case you want one as a fellow white person.
Thank you. I mean, send me a photo of it. DM me a photo
All
of
right,
it.
yeah.
I do want to see
a photo.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. It's I mean it's great. Who cares? You know, you can be white and proud, but
sure.
I found it hilarious the fact that she's doing, you know, just her reputation brought out the National Socialists of Arizona to hand out flyers.
Hey,
at
man,
comedy shows.
I mean, there's not a lot of comedy shows that they would probably be particularly, like, enjoying, I would guess.
Well, yours.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the thing is, I don't really, like, lean into that much because I definitely do not want to finish my show and then, like, people are handing out white power flyers and stuff. I don't care if the people come, but that's just too much. I go, that's too much. The problem is with that is you can never come back from that. Like she can never be like, she's basically boxed herself in where you go like, I have to say all this shit in this narrow window for the rest of my life if I want to have a career. Like, because those people expect a certain thing. So it becomes very difficult. I mean, it's like, it happens with, you know, all the crazy woke shit too. You're like, if you want to be this like super fucking going on stage and, you know, talking about feminism, like you can't just be like, oh, that was like, I mean, look at Lisa Lampanelli, you know, like she was this crazy chick and then saying the crazy stuff. And then she's like, I was wrong. And you're like, you can never go back.
Well, what's interesting to me is like her persona on Twitter is much different than, well, there's a crossover, but her comedy show is not like her Twitter persona. Like when I said that she has a similar version of like the 9/11 joke, like, if it's okay, I can just say it. Her joke essentially is, you think, and this is on Twitter, so I'm not like letting anyone know something I shouldn't. She says, do you think 9/11 was an inside job or do you think it was the Jews? Very funny. Very similar to, well, I mean, not very, but it's kind of crossover to what your joke is. 9/11, I thought that was the first one.
The Israel's 9/11.
Yes. So I would say, obviously, you're a man, so yours is more intellectually funny, but hers is still kind of funny too. But she's, I think, just her persona on Twitter attracted people that are more radical than what her actual comedy special is. Because I mean, it's very racist, but it's not just about Jews.
Sure. I mean, look, I've thought of this before, and I have no inclination to do anything like this. But man, if I wanted to be like the anti-Jewish guy, damn, I'd be living in a fucking mansion right now. If that's what I wanted to do, there's a big money in that.
Does Dave Smith live in a mansion then?
Fuck yeah, he does. And I mean, Dave Smith's not even anti-Jew. Dave Smith is just an intellectual or whatever. But yes, he does. Dave Smith fucking Prince.
I think it's pretty gay if you're going to be an anti-Jew Jew. Just be like an honest, like.
Well, it's a grift. It would be just a verifiable. It would be a grift, and you know you have to kind of just, you know.
Yeah, but we would all sniff that out though. You being like what people like about you, and even Leon. Maybe she's grifting. I don't fucking know. But
she's grifting. I hate to break it to you.
Right. I don't get. She's a woman who gives a fuck. But what I think. Like I watch your show, you know, I watch Dave Smith. People like that, you can sniff out people that are being fake. So you're obviously an honest
but
person.
There's so many people who don't care. They just want to hear things that they just want to say, someone to say the things that they want to hear. And if you'll just be that person for them, they'll like love you. But you box yourself in because you can't just all of a sudden be like, hey, I have opinions that don't go down this like narrow set of opinions, right? Like they
satanic thing to do is like that's like selling your soul.
Well, I got bad news for you. You went and saw Satan do comedy. I got bad news for you, pal, because you bought 2 tickets to see Satan. But again, it's just like people like that.
Hilarious.
Blasphemy. All right, I gotta let you go because I got a couple other callers waiting.
All right, have a good night, brother.
Conspiracy
Later.
extremists, everybody. All right, Slav, for the 3rd time of the night. This guy needs some fucking. We gotta get Slav a girlfriend, man. Slav had a girlfriend. He wouldn't have this much time to call into this podcast 3 times. Slav, why don't you have a girlfriend?
There's a bunch of nurses. I mean,
all right.
Everyone who I put my dick in, I don't want to replicate with. So, what is it? I just wanted to justify how I want the deportations to be legal.
Yeah,
but I wanted to bring.
They are
to
legal.
your
What do you
attention,
mean,
Danny?
Yeah, go on.
No, make them brutal. My bad. Make them
brutal.
But
Okay.
first off, I want to bring this to your attention first. So your I call comics colleagues of yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Miguel Silva, right?
No, never heard of him.
Oh, okay. He's in New York. He's pretty cool. He does Dork Court.
I know. I've heard of Dork. I've heard of Dork Court. Yeah, I don't know. There's literally, like, I'm not even exaggerating. There's minimum 10,000 comedians in New York City. It's exhausting.
No, it's not that. No. Dork Court is basically.
I've heard of
Tony,
Dork Court,
but like, yeah, it's Kill Tony, but like actually good.
Okay, Kill Tony.
Despite having 200 viewers max live. But he's still showing it to us. So if you could just type it in front of you into YouTube, Mind Valley as one word, and then Bevy.
Mind Valley.
Or just Mind Valley. Yeah, so this is an AI channel. Go to their videos and then sort it by the tab that says oldest.
Oh, Bevy is the channel. And oldest. Okay. Bevy announces acquisition of CMX.
No. Do Mind Valleys. Actually, I think it's both. But yeah, so both of these channels they have videos that are like 7-10 years old.
Okay.
They're all AI.
10 years old, they have AI videos? Impossible.
No. This is because here's the thing. If you played for a few minutes, you will realize how everything your eyes see is normal. If you were deaf, you're like, this is real life. If you were blind, but you could hear and you knew normal, like basically they talk. It's like
this channel that has 2.4 million subscribers on this channel?
Yeah, all those videos are fake. I promise you. Look up the one that has Shaq. They have one with Shaquille O'Neal, and I think literally. I just found this out tonight, so I'm gonna get to my immigration point. But this is the most insane.
Yeah, I gotta wrap this up. So I don't.
I
don't see this. I don't see Mind Valley Shack. I can't find anything here.
Okay, just go through that channel, and everybody else listening, go through that. Now,
I mean, it's like a lot of like chicks talking. The Modern Woman's Guide to Aging with Power.
Yeah, if you listen to it, it looks real. The cadence and everything is real. The syntax and the train of thought. There's no point A to point B. It's like literally.
Well, it just might be a woman talking.
AI.
Dude, there's no way
like
that this video is AI. I'm looking at it right now.
It is.
I'm telling you, there's zero chance that this is. They did not have this technology 10 years ago.
Hey, that's what I said. On your free time, you're gonna have to take a few
Okay.
minutes, but okay.
All right.
My immigration point. Point.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the reason why I keep saying and espousing, I want these deportations to be very brutal and very heavily televised and propagandized. Hey, propaganda can be used for good. This is not propaganda for America so much. This is propaganda for the rest of the world. All the televisions.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, dude, they're doing this. Like, there's a reason. Like, they're doing this specifically so that people see this shit and are like, you know, I'm not going there. 100%.
You know what I don't like to see? You know what I don't like to see on my screen? A bunch of crying, bloodied up Arabs and Palestinians, or Palestinians don't even consider themselves Arabs or Arabs, you know, whatever. I don't want to see a bunch of mudskins complaining because a bunch of dreidlers, you know, artilleried them.
You want to see a bunch of Mexican kids crying?
Yeah, no. I want everyone else in the world to see, like, they're like, I don't like seeing people who know they trespass. Because here's the thing. Anybody who ever says, why would you throw them out? I always has one response, and I want everyone to use this response. Danny, would you welcome someone in to your home through your front door by inviting them? Or would you rather come home, see your window, see that they broke in through your windows and they're helping themselves to your fridge? Which one do you think is more civil?
Depends how Christian I am. I feel like Ned Flanders would be like, "Come on in, neighborino," even if they broke in.
No.
Window.
I'm saying you come home and the window's
obviously,
already broken.
yeah, of course.
You come home, you know, the fridge is left open. They already helped themselves. They're now in the bedroom, and there's noise up there.
Isn't this what's the thing with the bears, where they eat the porridge? I think you're thinking of the bears with the porridge. Remember this porridge is too hot?
Goldilocks.
Oh, Goldilocks, that's what it is. I mean, this country is kind of like the Goldilocks of countries, though. You have to admit.
Well, I mean, hey, women chose the bears.
It's like we're living in Goldilocks right now. This country is Goldilocks. It is the most Goldilocks country. And then the bears are just having a taste, you know? What happened to the bears in Goldilocks?
No, this is the Gates of Toledo and C.S. Lewis's stories, where you let in a foreign, threatening, incompatible culture.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they should have never, it should have never got to this point. Like, literally, the Democrats or whatever, they could have just been fucking normal about this shit, and it would have never got here. But
Danny,
they can't.
You like to use the word uniparty. I'm going to tell you how this all works, and that's why.
Okay, wrap it up, because I got to get out of here.
Plan. Okay, right-wing Jews like to start wars in the Middle East that Israel asked for, so white Christian men from America can die in, so that left-wing Jews can shove all of those artificially created asylum refugee seekers into white nations.
I don't know, man. A lot of Catholic and Christian NGOs are behind a lot of the people coming into, at least America. I mean,
yeah, look up the Hebrew Immigration Services.
I mean, I know that exists too. I don't agree that this is specifically a Jewish conceit.
It is. They don't take immigrants. They advocate for it. You know.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. I gotta let you. I gotta let you go because I gotta piss really badly. All right, Slav, everybody. That's been Slav. Let's spin the see who's gonna win a 1-year low value mail Patreon membership. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining the show, for hanging out there. I have to pee really badly, but I'm gonna hold it because I'm a big boy. Spin, who's gonna win? And the winner is Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, which is also Conspiracy Extremist. He won a 1-year Patreon.com membership. Thank you to you, sir. Be in touch. Hit me up. I will upgrade your membership for the channel. All right. Congrats to him. Also, if you're watching this, leave a comment. Most like comment. Next week, I'll give another Patreon membership away. And at 500 members, I will be giving away $500. Cold, hard, effing cash. They said it couldn't be done, but I'm doing it. All right. That's been the show, everybody. Thank you very much to Jay Dyer. Thank you to lovely Mark, our producer. Couldn't do this without him. That's been the show. Catch me tomorrow night, 9 p.m. New episode of The Bathhouse. All new guests. It's going to be a gosh darn hoot. I love you all. I'll see you very soon. Have a good night. Oh, didn't work.
Really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can fit this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comic through. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch.